Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's broadcast of ESC Collegiate League of Legends featuring your Miami University Redhawks. Today, up against University at Buffalo. My name is Jason J. Allen.
And I am Devin, the Doc O'Connor.
And we have a great best of three series up today. Miami University sitting at 4-3, looking to push their record ahead ahead of playoffs, while University of Buffalo sitting comfortably at 6-1. So this will be a really awesome game to look at as we hop into draft right away. Miami on red side with Buffalo on blue.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to target the Iron first. Been seeing a lot of play, and bans coming out super quickly. The Graves, the jungler on the side of Buffalo has been spamming this Graves pick. Seems like they prefer more carry jungler style.
Yeah, absolutely. And across all games so far for Buffalo, pretty much every single game, Mumu Slay loves those carry jungle picks. They play a lot of the Nidalee, Graves, Lilia, things like that. And we have seen Buffalo's mid laner pick the Karma before, but we've also seen it flexed into the bot lane. They've previously paired it with the proactive pick of Ezreal. And also, I believe they've played it with Varus before as well, as we see Varus is taken by Miami's side. Pretty much a comfort pick for them.
Great deny, just to make sure that the side of Buffalo doesn't get that classic pairing in case it is flexed to the bot lane. And it is obviously a pick that NTSP is very comfortable on. So he usually opts to do the on-hit variant of it. Zhen Zhao going to be hovered here. See if that's actually locked in.
Right.
And it will be another comfort pick on the side of Miami. That's what I like to see, is champs that you just can consistently perform on. You know, you're not a lot of nerves. It's better than just hopping on something that may be good into a comp, but you're not really sure how to play it. So I like it.
Right, and with Xin Zhao, I always say it, Enchantress is with him.
Yes.
He's so much more durable when he has those healing and shielding, and with things like the Ivern, Seraphine, and Karma taken away, you have to sort of think, where's Miami's direction gonna go? And we'll see if they're even locked that in before. I would assume that's something for Valencia to play. We have seen Mumu Slay on the Olaf before in the jungle, but it is important to keep in mind that is a flex into the top lane as well. Olaf can be good into certain matchups up top.
Yeah.
So, and that Ezreal locked in as well. Another classic bot lane pairing of the Ezreal Karma.
Yeah, and I'm surprised the hover of the Aatrox here. I'm surprised that wasn't a higher priority pick, concerning its champion that's heavily shared between both top laners. I mean, it is a little bit risky to lock it blind, but there's not too many hard counters unless you can really effectively pilot like the Yone, or maybe something more like, people have picked Asante into it. But I mean, oftentimes Aatrox is pretty easy to pick blind if you're comfortable on the champion. So I think it's good. A lot of healing already on the side of Miami, and a lot as well on the side of Buffalo. Grievous is definitely going to be an item you want to keep in mind. Taking a while to think about those bans, it is going to be the Silas. So I guess they have deduced that the Karma is going to be going to the bot lane.
And this is something I really like from Buffalo right now is banning away the Lulu because Miami really wants that shielding 80 support, excuse me. They really want a little bit more durability in these team fights. If you have a Karma shielding and empowering the move speed of this Olaf running into you, a little bit more durability. You have the healing on these champions, but Shinzao and Aatrox love the heal shielding power. So Milio and Lulu taken away, and Miami on the other side is going to target that mid lane with the Silas and the Akali. Uh, Buffalo's mid lane also very similar to their jungle, loves those carry type of picks like the Akali. Sometimes they play Yone. We could see it this game. Although if the Olaf is going jungle, we'd have to see where their AP sort of mixes in.
And Soda, a pick I like. It gives you a lot of with like a lot of ability to kind of withstand the poke of the Ezreal Karma lane, which is what it's notable for. Really, just pushing and constantly kind of bombarding you with all these skill shots. So, the Sona does start off a little bit weaker in lane, but it's going to give you a lot more ability to stick around, catch those waves, and not be forced to back on an inconvenient timer. And I mean, these bans from Buffalo, they're really doing their homework. And oh my god, it's a Riven.
Right. So their top laner loves this Riven pick, has already played it at least twice. I believe they played it twice few weeks back. So this is a comfort pick for them, definitely. Likely to see maybe a more control style mid laner here. Lissandra is
That would,
an
yeah.
interesting pick for lockdown. They also do play a lot of the LeBlanc. I assume if they were to lock in this LeBlanc, it would be probably more of the traditional AP than this on hit.
Yeah,
Um,
not seeing too much of that nowadays.
yeah. And Quager is thinking about the Anivia here. We haven't seen it on him in a while, but we're gonna finally bring it back. I love Quager's Anivia.
Me too.
The goal of just pushing this wave constantly once you hit 6 and just really being annoying in team fights. And when you have people like Riven and Olaf and LeBlanc that are really running into you, that wall can prove very useful.
Yeah, I mean it's all comfort on the side of Miami. All of these champions are have really large track records with these players. So really like it. But as I was saying earlier, Buffalo really seems to have done their homework in terms of the bands that they've selected, and they're aware of like the priority of the enchanters, like you mentioned, and the shields. Wanting to deny that from the side of Miami, and I think that's really smart from them. I do like the LeBlanc pick, but it makes it very difficult to gank, even though Anivia has some pretty great gank setup. We'll see if they can capitalize maybe on that at some point in this game.
Right. And as always, I'm looking to see where these junglers are pathing in the
Hmm.
early game.
Yeah.
Specifically because when you have a Sona Varus bot lane, it's so scary. You have no mobility whatsoever,
Yeah.
especially early game. Um, yes, Sona can speed you up, but it's not that much that early on.
No.
So if you get hit by one axe fling from that Olaf in a gank, it could be scary. You're gonna have to burn flash really early. So I'm really gonna be paying attention to flash timers, where these junglers are pathing in the early game, because either team can really set themselves up for victory early
Yeah,
here.
I know. That's what I was saying. I think both comps seem very snowbally to me. Any kind of early lead can be transitioned into a lot of objective pressure, a lot of good team fights, and it's a very slippery slope. So I'm excited to see. Hopefully, it's a pretty rough one. We get a lot of cool team fights,
Yeah.
and I'm excited.
Yeah, and speaking of team fights, we were just talking earlier about how we felt Miami wanted that shielding power, and that's why Buffalo was targeting those bans. So how do we think about this Sona? The Sona late game is going to provide so much just about really her getting there.
Yeah, I think the Sona is really invaluable because not only does she have like the 5 minute, she can get potentially a really big taunt or stun with her ultimate ability. She also provides just constant healing and shielding from the poke. That's gonna be like into a poke comp. I'm thinking just she just constantly keeps you tip top shape, and that's gonna prevent a lot of the damage or preemptive damage that Buffalo is gonna try and throw at Miami's way.
Right, and a lot of interesting solo lane matchups. We have Aatrox in the top lane up against the Riven.
Hmm.
How do you think that matchup is going to go early game? Because that feels very almost like 50-50. Like whoever gets that first kill is going to sort of snowball.
Yeah, to me, it feels like very much a skill matchup. Just in the sense that, uh, it's those both those champions are very much about pressing your buttons correctly. Very combo based, very momentum based. So, whoever really seems to get the jump on the other person. I'm interested to see the summoners. Maybe the Riven opts for the ignite. We'll see. Maybe get some more lane pressure. But I mean, I like the TP. But if you already have a mid laner that's going to be taking it, you can look for something a bit more aggressive. We see that a lot on like Rumble. Just to try and push this Aatrox a bit further out of lane. Try and decrease the amount of proud that he has because as much as I like the Void Grubs, I do think it is important to fight over them. But more, what we've been seeing a lot nowadays is just trying to deny one, so you can't have the full six and
Right.
deny the stacking.
Right. Totally. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. We are going to take a very, very short break before we hop into games. So stick it with us for that, for this best of three series between Miami University and Buffalo. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Summoner's Rift. We got a great best of three series on our hands between Buffalo and Miami University. We saw the draft, and it's kind of scary for
It's
both teams.
spicy.
It's a spicy draft. I'm looking at top lane and I'm looking at bot lane, especially as we see
Hold
both
on.
teams of five are matching each other, and Buffalo is moving in. We'll have to see what happens, but they do get spotted out, and there's already so much damage going down, and it's first blood going over to NTSP. Just an absolute cluster of emotions are occurring and abilities that are being fired. NTSP is still chasing forward. Paldy Springer's taken dangerously low. He's got to back away. The Q lands and secures another kill for NTSP, who now has a double kill before minions have even spawned.
And listen, I was looking towards that bush and to have that 5v5 happen early because looking at Miami's comp, it just favors them level one. I mean, obviously we saw the huge value of an Ivia there, getting that. I believe it was like a 3 or maybe even 4-man stun with her Q, and then the lethal tempo on this Varus just allowed him to just free hit and constantly get those autos off, and it really showed. I mean, Ezreal level one, even with the PTA, not gonna match a Varus. So really well played, and even I mean the Olaf wasn't super like caught off super. He threw the Q into the bush. Like he wasn't. It was a face check, but it wasn't like they were like totally not expecting it. But taking that level one trade definitely going to be kind of disastrous for them.
Right, and look beyond that even. Look at the summoner spell uses. No flashes in the bot lane, no ghost in the jungle, no flash or ignite top lane for Buffalo. Meanwhile, Miami has
With
all
one
of their
flash.
flashes up except Evil Lobsters.
Yeah.
Especially important that their bot lane's flashes are up.
I would
So
agree.
any threat of an early gank to try and bring back their bot lane is going to be mitigated potentially.
Yeah, and we do see the ignite here already being used on the Riven. So
Right, good
not
damage by
yeah.
Paldy Springer actually.
Not going to have that.
Bit of a-
Good trade.
yeah.
Definitely going to favor the Aatrox just because of his innate healing. Um, yeah, and as we see the poke starting to come down from the bottom lane of Buffalo. Uh, and junglers, the early invade coming through from the Olaf, nothing out of the ordinary, and Evil Lobster is going to match here in the top side.
Yeah, some vertical jungling, classic things. Phillips is actually kind of like looking over here. He's going to cut around into Gromp. He's waving in that bush. That is a big wave into topside. They
Yeah.
know that Riven does not have this flash.
He's
He's also
proxying.
only level 2. There is proxy. Let's see if they can make this happen here. Evil Lobster is going to go and land the knockup pretty nicely. Infernal Chains will follow, and Pauly Springer picks up the kill, and it's a beautiful execution for
Look at that. I
Miami.
mean, they juggled the aggro so beautifully. Pauly Springer, it's like they shared one mind. You know, they knew exactly how they were going to go in, and just beautiful execution, like you said.
Pretty aggressive in this bot lane. NTSP is below half health. They're trying to trade to the best of their ability back, and they will pretty effectively end up being just that little handshake.
But I mean, as we stated, look at the Sona healing. I mean, it's not super effective at this point in the game, but it's making it a little bit more bearable for them to be able to take some of this, you know, the mantra Qs, the Ezreal Qs.
Oh, Evil Lobster is playing this so smart. Knows that he's in that bush. Place the ward down.
See if we can go back there.
Looks like nothing
Yeah.
ended up happening, but the Olaf is still down there. Mumusle has been trying to make something work in this bot lane for a while. He's going to run into Evil Lobster again, though. Both mid laners are coming to match. I think Evil Lobster might win this trade flat out, although Olaf healing is pretty massive. Quagert's trying to do his best. He puts the Crystallize up, and the E will finish him off. We'll trade 1-for-1, although I think this LeBlanc is going to be able to get another kill. We'll proc the Rebirth. Their bot lane has moved up to try and get something, but Miami's bot lane is so low, but we'll actually pick up a return kill onto this Karma. Quaker flashes away from the Ezreal Q to get something out of it, but will eventually fall in the end.
And it's a scuffle. I mean, we talked about some of these early, you know, team fights, and we're definitely seeing it. It's been so aggressive from both teams, willing to take these early fights and kind of, I think they both realize that their win condition is getting ahead in this early game.
Yeah.
And whoever kind of has the first jump and is able to make the moves first is going to be the one that is able to pull ahead. And both teams, Miami's kind of gotten the better of them so far, but, you know, Buffalo is definitely going to be fighting for this.
They're looking mid lane. Quagert's been chained, and I think he's just going to fall here. No Rebirth passive either. Mumusle is going to be picking up that kill.
Yeah, really well played. Knowing that the Anivia doesn't have her passive up, no flash, just repeat ganking, and you know, not much you can do. So, yeah. And then we see Evil Lobster.
Lobster's moving up here. Riven does have the flash available soon. Going to be actually looking to trade back because they know that this Olaf is coming up. He was just on the Void Grubs. Hasn't taken any just yet. Going to be flinging those axes, trying to just push this wave in. Evil Lobster's taking a bit of damage there. Pauly Springer should be able to safely clear this wave, though, as with mid-prio, they're going to be able to get some of those grubs. And Evil Lobster will find that out. Not right now, although he is looking to repeat gank here.
Yeah, maybe if he can get this kill, they might be able to contest the grubs if they don't take him too
Olaf
fast.
is coming behind. He does land the Wind Becomes Lightning. It's a nice stun landed by this Riven, who takes Evil Lobster pretty low. He's going to get hit by the axe. They were able to secure this Riven. I think Pauly Springer might actually be able to just pick up another kill onto this Olaf. But look at the minion damage, but it's actually the passive from the Olaf from the Aatrox who's going to be able to secure that kill. It's a double kill going over to this Aatrox.
And a beautiful flash there. Just dodging the axe from Evil Lobster to be able to not have him trade for that 2-for-1. Really well played, making it out with his life. Because, I mean, with Olaf, you never really know. It's like you could be like, oh, he's getting low, and then immediately it's like, wait, why is my health gone? You know, why is he healing more than I am? That's just how he is as a champion, such a bruiser.
Oh, Quagert's taken really low again. No Ignite, but he might not even need it. It's a solo kill in the mid lane for this LeBlanc. This Olaf is pathing bot side. Miami much wants to really push this wave in, and I think potentially take it back here.
Yeah. Starting to do a little bit better with that poke. Riven did have to burn the Ignite in that scuffle top lane, so she's not going to have that to be able to equalize some of these trades. Void Grubs were not entirely taken. One of them, I believe.
Yes, only one taken by Buffalo there. That's a good call out. 2 left to be taken. Pauly Springer has had great control in this top lane, and he's actually going to pop the World Ender and look for a bit of a trade here. Riven does have this flash available. The Infernal Chains will land. It will not pull her back, though, but it will zone her heavily off of this wave and sort of put the control into Pauly Springer's hands. Speaking of control in this bot side river means that Miami is going to be able to secure this Drake, but it might come at the cost of Quagert's life again, and another kill is going over to this Olaf.
Yeah.
Another Infernal Chains lands, which does pull back. They are going to be able to secure this Drake, but are they going to be able to get out alive? They're focusing on this bot lane. Evil Lobster's taken so low, and the Sona heals just aren't there yet. NTSP is ghosting away to the best of his ability. Here comes the LeBlanc. Will the chain land? It will on a minion, though. And I don't think they're going to be able to set up any dives here, although they are hanging around a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it is. So Olaf's going to be moving up towards the bot side jungle, and Evil Lobster moving into that top side. Might even look to take those grubs with the prio he has top lane.
Yeah, Miami needs to be a bit careful. You know, despite getting these early leads in the top lane and the bot lane, you know, you can't be too aggressive and take fights that you may not win, because as much as those leads are really going to be impactful, you can't just give away these shutdowns and give away all the prio that you have in these lanes. So I'd like to see them take it a little bit slower. I like the objective play, but you know, taking those big fights, especially when this Olaf is going to be a lot at his strongest. You know, early game, very notable champ. So would like to see them slow it down just a little bit and hopefully consolidate their lead and start to you know, think about, hey, where are we most needed in this game? How can we deny them from making any kind of comeback with minimizing risks?
Right. Gold lead is basically even here, and what's so scary about both of these teams is really that, yeah, the Riven is really behind, and yes, Quaker is decently behind as well, but then you look at the other solo lanes, and you're like,
Ooh, LeBlanc has 2 kills
pretty
for
scary.
assist.
Yes, exactly. 3 of those grubs, all 3, are going to be going over to Mumuslay on Buffalo. So they will have the opportunity to secure all 6 potentially. They only need 5 to get some of those mites damage. We'll have to see if they look up there again. Remember that first Drake was taken to Miami. The spot lane's pressuring up quite a bit. But with all of Miami's team on bot side, they're prepared to respond in any way that they might need to.
Yeah, and there is a bit of a duality between the top and the mid lane, as you mentioned, but
Mumuslay's looking for a lane gank potentially here. Riven does have flash available, can look to try and make a play here. I don't know if Paldy Springer has expected anything yet, but it looks like this Olaf is just going to take a back here instead. Continue to push this wave. Oh, they're actually going to look here. The Ignite's been landed. There's that flash to try and make a play, but the flash response and the world render from this Aatrox will get him away to safety.
yes, well played there. Riven did. Ooh,
Oh, it's a great stun landing on the bot side. Great play made. NTSB is going to pick up another kill. 4-1 right now at 10 minutes. Meanwhile, top lane, Baldy Springer lands the Infernal Chains, but the Ragnarok's going to be used to get away safely and become CC immune. But great pressure by this Aatrox here.
What happened?
Right, didn't even need to like go back, take a TP play. It's going to translate really well because also on the bot side of the map, Evil Lobster is able to take away a camp. This Ezreal is zoned away from this wave. They're going to pick up a plate or 2.
Yeah, LeBlanc is even
LeBlanc
forced to roam
is here.
down.
The chains come down. It's a great dash by Evil Lobster to get away from the root, though.
We'll just gonna get a lot here.
Right, I think with the Sona movement speed, yeah, nothing's going to really happen. Trying to make a play bot side doesn't bode well. It means a plate even goes over to Quagert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what happened for Paul D. Springer to be able to 1v2 after having to force out his flash. I mean, he just was able to trade so effectively that, you know, this Olaf was completely zoned off. He had to force his ult.
And the gold lead was so close. Now it's around 1K.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit over
Workable.
1K right now because of all those. There was like 3 plates in separate lanes that were just taken from a little bit of like missteps by Buffalo. A little overzealous there.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Miami's scaling in this game. So I think that it definitely benefits them to have these early leads and to be taking these platings. The only thing I have my eye on, I mean, those Void Grubs, they will be impactful. As much as I like to meme on them and say, oh, listen, the Drake is a lot more important.
Evil Lobster's looking here. Quaker and Paldy Springer are coming down, and Olaf's taking a lot of damage. We'll go CC immune, but I don't think it's going to get him away from that Profane Hydra Aatrox. Meanwhile, Flash forced away from this Karma. NTSP is ignited and taken a little bit low under his turret. Looks like a plating is going to end up going to Buffalo. I believe they did end up getting that plate.
full stumps from Karma, though.
Right, that's a great Flash Frost landed on to the LeBlanc, who's taking so much ticking damage. Here comes the Riven, but I don't think she can really look for anything up against this Anivia. Those slows can be very annoying to deal with.
This Riven, I mean, losing a lot. Look at the Aatrox. He's just hitting towers.
Yeah.
You know, the roam mid, I like the idea. Maybe help out your mid laner a little bit, but just, you know, this LeBlanc really hasn't been able to transition her early lead into much with those roams we saw towards bot side. So, and another Drake going to be picked up here from the side of Miami. Hopefully, for their sake, I hope it's a good soul. Right now, I mean, Chemtech's off the board, so that means that, you know, it's probably going to be something pretty decent. And
Let's
will
see.
right now.
It is
Cloud.
Wow.
Bad. Not
a
bad.
little.
Listen, eh, it's good for Aatrox. It's good for Aatrox.
Yes.
It's really good for Aatrox.
It is.
Not really any. I mean, kind of maybe Jindal, but I don't know. Like, Anivia, it's not terrible too because she has really high uptime on her ult. But like, and Olaf here is going to be pathing.
Olaf's looking for something here. Does have the Ragnarok, but he's been spotted out by that control ward placed. And Evil Lobster's now down here, but so is the LeBlanc. Quaker is not really close enough, but actually Crescendo does land, doesn't do a whole lot. True Shot Barrage goes wide. Some trades of abilities ends up meaning not a whole lot other than taking this Olaf fairly low, and everyone's just going to sort of walk away being like, thank you very much.
Well, listen,
How we
I
would.
mean, I think Paul D. Springer is a big fan of that. He now that he knows that the jungler's bot side, he can play a lot more aggressively, just tank this tower and maybe try and get it all in here. I mean, the only part about Riven is that she's so incredibly slippery.
Right, but maybe that might be a good thing here as now Paul D. Springer's caught in a 1v2. Can Profane Hydra do anything here? Is going to be executed by that Riven Blade. Shutdown gold goes over to the Olaf. Meanwhile, Valencia is forced to flash. Taken dangerously low there, trying to tussle with some wards.
Wait, hold on.
And can NTSP look for something here? Has a Chain of Corruption available? Crescendo is not.
I don't know if you heard my confused noises, but that's a Malignant on LeBlanc.
That is Malignant.
You don't see that too terribly often. I mean, her ult is up pretty often, but it's like the value you get is just not super great out of it compared to some of the other champions like Karma.
Right, very interesting. NTSP's taken really low. Will he be able to get the kill? Yes, he will, and he will flash away. Will he be able to survive? Look at the Sona heals, keeping him alive. It looks like he will. The question is, will they be able to get a Tranquil? Meanwhile, mid lane, there's that Malignance doing some work with the stuns. Back to bot lane, back to mid lane. Doesn't look like they're going to be getting anything out of this, but bot lane will. NTSP picks up another. Meanwhile, Quaker's trying to turn this. Look at the Flash Frost. The stun connects. Doesn't have the E available yet. Now he does.
It's a solo
And it's
kill.
a solo kill going over to the Anivia and a double kill going over to NTSP on this Varus.
Miami hitting their stride, and what do you know? A Riven is moving back to the mid lane. Oh,
Right, and we are going to get a pause here for one reason or another, but really great map plays right now by Miami.
I mean, Miami, beautiful map control. I think my eyes are all towards Paul D. Springer, though. I mean, he's been the reason that a lot of these advantages have been able to be created on the side of Miami's map. And, you know, just soaking a lot of pressure from the jungler. And, I mean, the Riven, a bit unorthodox, roams into the mid lane, but, you know, I see the attempt. And it looks like we are going to be going back in the game here. So just a short little pause.
Yes,
Evil
but
Lobster.
as you were saying, the leads that Miami have built, I feel like are giving them confidence this game. That early double kill going on to NTSP really felt like a really big confidence booster. Riven's going to whiff the wall hop there.
A little bit of a...
And Paul D. Springer is going to pop the World Ender. Valencia is behind him for support, but won't even need it. Profane Hydra, what do you know? Another solo kill going over to this Aatrox. There's so much pressure on this top side of the map right now from Miami. The wave is going to get cleared, but Rift Herald is being placed, and now this LeBlanc is in a really weird situation.
Where's she going?
Looks like she'll probably get away. They're just going to focus on the turret, and second tier turret in this top side.
Uh-oh. Where's he driving this thing?
Oh, is he going to go mid lane? Is going to go mid lane with this. They do have a wave being pushed there. Is he going to be able to skirt around? Oh, he's not going to be able to. But I think Rift Herald still should crash here.
The missing ping's coming out from his own team.
Yeah. True Shot Barrage, not going to even really get through those Sona shields, and we're now starting to see the power spikes of the Sona.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw it kind of closer when they had that 2v2 scuffle down in the bot lane. Like, NTSB was kept alive by like a thread so many times just thanks to the Sona shielding and healing. And, you know, this value is already really apparent.
Right, and you saw throughout this mid game, Olaf has been really, really trying to make plays in all of these lanes. Sometimes they work out, but a lot of times they're iffy. This one might, though, as he's caught Cougar off here. TP is coming out from Paul D. Springer. Quaker does have the Rebirth available, does not actually. So now Paul D. Springer is now stuck in a 1v2. Ragnarok's coming, and so is Karma, but so is NTSP. They're being dodged around. Now all 5 members of Buffalo are here, but Paul D. Springer is going to use that flash and get away to safety.
Yeah, a little bit of scuffle, not going exactly how Miami planned. If he had the passive up there, Quaker, I think that could have gone really nicely for them, just buying a little bit of time. Fortunately, Paul D. Springer was caught between a rock and a hard place as soon as he came into that 1v2.
And now Buffalo's going to be able to, with that kill, set up a little bit of control with Drake spawning in 10 seconds here, but I don't know if Miami really has the ability to tussle with this. Paul D. Springer is going to back. It looks like they're just going to probably give this away, although
Yeah, no
he's
TP.
sticking around. He's below half health. It is Aatrox. He can heal.
Is this worth it for a Cloud, though?
Yeah, there is no anti-heal as of right now on the side of Buffalo. Looks like Miami is actually going to have first walk in. This is going to be a 5v5. Look at the Sona heals. This actually brought him quite up,
nearly full,
pretty healthy. I don't know if Buffalo knows that they're all there. That's a great crystallize, but the Olaf is running in. Great True Shot Barrage deals a lot of damage, and Riven on the flank is pretty huge. Picks up the shutdown onto Valencia, onto NTSP, excuse me, but I don't know if they have enough damage still. This Aatrox is just really tearing through them, and so is Evil Lobster. All of Miami's solos are still alive, and their jungler means that they are going to be able to pick up this Drake. It's a 3-for-2 overall.
Yeah, and, you know, as much as you like taking down that Varus,
They're going to try to steal here. It looks like they are, but they won't be able to end up getting it. And now it is soul point for Miami here.
Sorry for interrupting Miami there, my bad.
No, you're good. You know, you never know with LeBlanc. She's always going to try something.
She is a bit of a psycho champion. I agree. But no, as I was saying, I think that what was I saying? Sorry. It was Miami contesting that Cloud Drake. And as much as you love to take down that Varus, you know, he's a big source of a lot of that damage. Like we said, all eyes are on Paul D. Springer. He has a lot of this cryo and fights, and I was surprised. Riven really managed that team fight well. The Ezreal, great True Shot Barrage onto multiple members of Miami. But not, I mean, as much as you like that trade and you get the shutdown, you missed out on the drag. Now it's soul point, and you're running out of runway. You don't have a lot of opportunities to try and crawl back into this game.
Paul D. Springer is stuck in his maybe 10th 1v2 of the game. He's going to get hit there by the True Shot Barrage, but he's actually just going to heal all of it up
Look
with
at
the
his
World
tower.
Ender. Yeah, his tower's fully healthy, but it's another team fight happening. Olaf is in the thick of it. Evil Lobster is pretty tanky, but the Sona isn't nearby to heal or anything. Now taken dangerously low once again. The Sona is finally here. Crescendo lands and is going to keep him alive once again. Paul D. Springer and Quaker are on the other side. The Flash Frost is going to land onto this Riven, who's taken so low. Taken low once again. The arrow is going to finally land, and look where they are, right next to Baron. This is going to translate pretty well for Miami with such a big gold lead now, 5K. And it looks like Buffalo was really looking for something there, but they forgot where Paul D. Springer was in that team fight. It was right behind them the entire time.
LeBlanc looking again to try and contest. There is a jungler alive on the side of
Yep,
Buffalo.
they're just
He's
going to
not
be able
gonna
to get
look for
it.
Yeah.
You know, try to get that mid lane turret in response. I think they will.
Yeah, smart call to not contest. I don't think it would have gone very well. We already saw them almost back to full HP. Sona fix.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't know if you saw that last fight the same way I did. Listen, I feel like Miami has to run like a 5K every time they want to fight a team fight. Like they have to. The LeBlanc, the Olaf, they're so fast. The Riven, if they get one pick and they're like, okay, great, let's try and look for more. And then they're running like halfway across the map to try and get some more picks. So it is a little bit difficult for them to like try and lock down all the members of Buffalo. But it's still going to transition into a great game state for them. You want this Baron, you're going to be pushing a lot of these turrets that you haven't been able to get quite yet in the midst of this game.
Right,
So.
they're looking mid lane. That Riven is on another flank. I do have to credit this Riven. The flanks have been effective at getting one kill, but not much after that. Taken so low very quickly. I mean, has so much pressure everywhere. Now it's a 1v3. Paul D. Springer, what can you do? Pops the World Ender. Won't be able to finish off the LeBlanc, but doing a lot of damage. Won't be able to hit that Q3. Is trying to heal the best of his ability, but it's shut down going over to the Olaf. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, they're able to kind of just break through their base. We'll be able to pick up this inhib as a response, but a nice shutdown picked up on the other end. They do have objective bounties up as well, but I don't think they're going to be able to get this turret. This Olaf is definitely going to have to back because he will now see that he is being flanked here.
I would call that worth for the side of Miami. I think you
Mhm.
getting the inhib gives you a lot of pressure, especially in these objective scenarios. It's going to make it hard for some of the members of Buffalo to leave their base just because those super minions are going to start pouring in and just naturally pushing the mid wave. Mid lane is the most effective inhibitor. I mean, that's when the lanes are going to be going the fastest. They're going to be crashing the most, and it just gives you a lot more pressure and less breathing room for the side of Buffalo.
Something that I don't think we talk enough about is heal cut itemization,
Yeah.
specifically because it's really hard for Buffalo's team to build heal cut.
Yeah.
They don't really have a Thornmail champ or like a uh, any other heal cut item champ. Meanwhile, Holly Springer, another 1v3, keeps getting caught in these, and then he gets out.
Yeah.
Almost always,
He's cool.
except the last time.
I mean, that was kind of an impossible scenario, and he almost one-shot two of those people. So
Miami's in opponent's jungle. They are gonna Buffalo's gonna be able to pick up some objective bounties in that top side, but Miami's gonna respond by breaking open the bottom side of the map a little bit more for them. They still have this Baron empowered minions coming through.
And listen, Miami's so happy with the fact that they're just tunnel visioning on this Aatrox because every time they do, they get something huge in the cross map. They're going to be getting this tier 2, and it's a lot of gold in the pockets of Miami. They're just going to keep pressuring on the opposite side of the map. If they're like, Polly Springer's like, please come get it. Come get it.
And Paldi Springer has TP now. Also, because that map, the bottom side of the map has now been opened up for Miami, they have immediate control over this next Drake, which is Soul for them even.
Yep.
So Dragon's up. I don't know if Buffalo even wants to take this. I think they're just going to try to kill Paul D. Springer, but Paul D. Springer's just going to back up right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and if they get this Drake down in time, he'll have the ult. Yeah, I think he will have that World Ender to just go even. He'll go Mach 10. he will be out of there.
Exactly. So uncontested Drake going over to Miami means that Elders are going to start spawning in a few minutes as we get into another pause this game. We apologize for that. So sometimes people mention, I know Elder takes a while to spawn, 6 minutes. Sometimes people mention the hesitancy in taking that fourth Drake if you think that Elder's going to help bring your opponent back into the game. But the way I'm seeing it, it looks like Miami just kind of needs one more fight.
No, I would agree. I think any fight that they take here, unless it's like really botched or they get taken totally by surprise, is just so heavily favored. Given the circumstances on the map, how Miami's been able to effectively cross map and get a lot more gold just in the pockets. They have the item advantage, they have the champion advantage, and like you said, there's not really a huge opportunity to build up these heal cuts. And that's really kind of a thorn in the side of Buffalo here because if you don't have a champion that can effectively have good application of grievous wounds, there's not really a way that you can kind of deny this Aatrox, deny this Sona, and then you just have like a massively annoying Nivea and Avaris that's monster fed. Like he's just gonna keep free hitting. Who do you prioritize in these team fights? You don't. I mean, there's too many threats on the side of Miami. So I mean, I would agree. I think it's not a bad call to take Soul because um, chances are, unless they have a miracle steal, Elder's going to you, or it's just going to end before then. So,
Right.
I wouldn't. I agree. I think there's always some apprehension because Elders just seems like such a daunting objective to start, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I think we saw exactly what you said about you can take one person away, but they're gonna still be there
Yeah,
with that one team fight where the Riven flank was amazing. These Riven flanks have been incredible, I
yeah,
must say. They get a shutdown onto NTSP, and then Paulie Springer just takes the whole fight in his hands.
yeah.
Or Evil Lobster picks up all of the fight in his hands. We have ended the pause here, and we're getting right back into game, so we apologize for that. But yeah, Miami sitting pretty. Still, it's around, I believe, 6K gold. Soul,
should-
I mean, Miami is really happy with the situations that they are in. Again, it was all about. Oh, Quiggert, hold on. He's going to get caught out here. Ragnarok's going to be
Look
used.
how
Not going to be able to
fast
get
he
so
is.
he's actually forces out the TP from this LeBlanc, and Cricket's going to get away safely. Not what you want to see. So now Buffalo's really going to have to play as a unit now because
Yeah.
they're behind. They don't have TP, so it's iffy to pressure side lanes because they could just straight up lose the game at any point if they do that.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
and we saw, I mean, just right there, the value of this Cloud Soul.
yeah,
As you said, taking it a little scary, but Quaker was just running, man. Or
right.
should I say flying at Anivia. Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
her animations make it a little bit hard to tell. She's so old at this point,
Yeah,
but
we need a VGU
we
or
do.
Black Frost Anivia.
Oh yeah, that one's not
Quaker,
bad.
where's your Black Frost Anivia?
He's got the French one.
He's got.
I like that one. That's probably why they're
Oh,
so ahead.
oh! I was just about to say another failed jump. Paldy Springer was looking there.
Valencia, super fast too. That speed buff starting to take effect.
Yeah, and I love the way that Miami again is being as a one right now. 4-1. Paldy Springer does have that TP available. So does Quakert. All sums are pretty much up for both teams. So it's really just it's going to be up to Buffalo. Are they just going to wait towards Baron and try to make a play to try and get back into the game? Because Baron is an objective to look towards to try and get back into this game. They do have objective bounties up as well still. But Miami has full control of this map. They have full control of this game. They have item leads. They have gold leads. They have soul. They have everything. They have TP advantage. It looks like this Riven is going to be looking to Paldy Springer, although I don't know if he knew he was there. Did have the ward there, so probably did.
Yeah,
Maybe?
Nivea's side lane control, really good.
Yeah.
Not a lot of threat there either, just because of the passive.
And
Paldy
Paldy
Springer.
Springer has been flanked here. He's just going to hop over the wall, though, slide over. We'll
Oh,
slide over another time, and he's not scot-free. And now I think Miami can pretty safely do Baron. Only threat would probably be this True Shot Barrage, and I think Paldy Springer, knowing that he has the TP, is willing to sort of play around a little bit in this bot side, try to continue to apply pressure. And if he needs to be called up, he has the TP available. But look how fast Miami takes
it's
this.
a Varus. I mean,
It's an on-hit build,
it's an
you're
on-hit
right,
Varus,
exactly.
and the Anivia just constantly
Watch
proccing.
True Shot Barrage, and it won't matter. Baron goes over to Miami here. They are going to try and pick up Paldy Springer. Look at the Cloud Soul move speed. The first axe misses. The second one does as well. And there you go. That's your zoom zoom Aatrox there, getting away safely, and now Miami's so much pressure. They tried to make a play on the spot side with 3 members, means they can just continue pushing.
And he's coming back. He's like, you know what? Cool story, bro. We're back. And they repeat take the inhib there. Gonna lock down this Olaf with a lot of damage.
That's pretty good. The crystallized barrier is pretty huge. Will force out the Ragnarok. Means they should be able to pretty safely get this turret with these Baron minions. Has a cannon available.
Aatrox in the bottom lane.
Right. I mean, they just don't have much of a response. A good True Shot Barrage, but if they continue to wait, Sona's going to heal it all back up.
Yeah, you sure that... I don't remember a True Shot Barrage happening. Look at their health.
Yeah. I mean, they're just back up. Miami can sort of do whatever they want. Paldy Springer's being a bully in the spot lane.
He's just sitting there, empowering the cannons.
Right. Buffalo's going to have to pull the trigger at some point. Evil Lobster does, but it's going to go back away. Riven's going to get the stun off, but will be able to dash away to safely as she does with her very low health. The piercing arrow is going to miss. Will force the flash away. Ragnarok is not available, remember, so he's not going to be able to get out of this one. Paldy Springer is running at them. Has no trouble doing that with the Sona behind him and with no heal cut really on Buffalo's side. It's a last-ditch effort for Buffalo here, but it's not going to look like enough, and they will just surrender the game over. Miami is going to take this Game 1 victory, and what a sweet victory that it was.
I mean, it was... that was... I mean, there were some shaky points, but listen, they played a pretty damn good, clean game of League of Legends. I'm so happy with a lot of the, the cohesion that they had and the ability to stick together, and especially the side laning improved a lot. I mean, I think Paldy Springer already was doing a great job. We saw a lot from Quaker, but just being able to prioritize a lot of these objectives and recognize, hey, can we draw a lot of jungle aggro? Can we take as much resources from the enemy team, and how can we utilize that to do stuff on the other side of the map? And really, just beautiful.
Yeah,
We'd love to see it.
I totally agree. The map play was phenomenal by Miami in that game. Getting those early leads, that early double kill before there was any minions. I think it was pre 1 minute that NTSP picked up that double kill, and then he got all that confidence, set him up
Yeah.
for success, and then just the Riven wasn't able to really be effective this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a little risky to see a Riven locked in. I mean, we talked about Jace being risky, but
Yes.
that guy, I mean, he kind of nailed it that last week. But I mean, this Riven, a little bit less safe in the sense there's no phase rush. I mean, you do have like the slipperiness of your Q and your E, but it wasn't enough. Paldy Springer pressing his buttons just how he needed to.
Right. You have to imagine in Aatrox, prioritization or ban. I mean, and I hate to bring it up again, but really, the lack of heal cut itemization.
I mean,
It's so difficult for their team to really build heal cut. It's a weird draft oversight because it's hard to really think about that until you get into game, and
true.
then you realize that, oh,
What are we
Thorn
doing?
Mail,
Yeah, but like,
I guess.
even though they didn't really have the champions for it, I still would have liked to build. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would
like.
have
I
liked to
don't
seen
think.
like at least a bramble vest on that Olaf would have definitely helped because this Olaf was always moving forward in these fights, was always getting auto attacks, so was going to
Yeah,
be able to get that off. But with a Sona and an
we
Aatrox,
never saw it.
they
I
were
don't
full
think
health
we
the
ever
entire
saw it.
game.
Yeah,
Full
I
health the entire
I
game.
don't think we ever saw the Grievous being built
Yeah.
till up to the very end of that game. So hopefully, Miami can keep up their momentum, and Buffalo. I mean, we'll see if they turn it around.
Yeah, we're going to be right back for game number 2 in this best of 3 series. Again, game number 1 goes over to Miami. We'll have to see if they can continue it. So we will be right back. Stick with us. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ESC Collegiate League of Legends featuring your Miami University Redhawks. Today, up against University at Buffalo. We already saw game one going over to Miami, which was super exciting. Like we said, played the map really well. The drafting went very well for them, able to build leads, build confidence early game, and it was great execution in the late game from Miami. So I'm really looking forward to see what they sort of cook up in this next draft. Definitely something to keep in mind for Buffalo is the fault of their draft last time was really not being able to build a heel cut in
Yeah,
any way.
but I mean, we might see that again. But also, that's kind of a. I mean, the champs that Miami play often do heal quite a bit, but like that is a little bit of a niche problem. But you do want something that either has a solid front line or has good Grievous applications in like kind of like an AOE spell type thing.
Right.
So hopefully they'll be more mindful of that this time. Band's looking relatively similar. I
Yep.
imagine that they might just first pick the Aatrox. That's
Yeah, I
that's what
was
I'm
gonna
thinking.
note Buffalo is on this blue side. Their
Yeah.
top laner does love Aatrox a lot. So with the same sort of bans, although I believe they bumped this. Oh no, that
No,
Smoldered
it's the
ban was
same.
there
Yeah.
before. And on the other side, Miami same bans as well. Again, Buffalo loves those carry junglers. I'm thinking about top side as well if
Hold on.
it's being Aatrox, but they are going to lock in that Karma again. Seemed like they at least liked the Karma a little bit, or at least that they can set up a bunch of different team comps around it. Although right now it's looking pretty similar. And I
Yeah.
think Miami's maybe happy with that. I wouldn't be surprised if they either take away the Shinzao or the Aatrox again here.
Yeah, I would like to see the Aatrox locked in. I know again it's a little risky to blind top lane, but Aatrox a good champion of blind, like I said, and also you kind of smacked him last game, so like yeah, wouldn't be too afraid of locking that one in just to deny it.
But so far,
Yeah,
Miami looks like they're going to keep it same old, same old. Let's see what Buffalo's change-ups are, because I really think first half of the draft, there needs to be a change-up.
yeah. Come on,
They
Moo Moo.
can maybe go over to the Ezreal again, but a different pickup here to sort of set their team comp goals up a little bit differently. I could see the Aatrox Ezreal.
But again, I okay. I would be fine with Aatrox if it was blinded by Miami, but I don't know. I feel like this guy might be a cracked Aatrox, and I have no idea. I mean, he does have quite the track record on it, but I feel like with the fact that Paul D. Springer is so familiar with that champion, he probably can play someone that pretty hard counters.
Right, I'm thinking Rumble here,
Rumble, I'm
especially.
thinking Camille maybe. I mean,
Yes.
we saw him play Camille in the past, and it wasn't his best showing, but I also feel like that champion is so good into Aatrox.
I have a feeling with the Olaf picked up again here, we're either going to see Miami do the same bans as last time of the Silas and the Akali, or they're going to shift it really hard, focus into that bot lane, ban away the Ezreal, and ban away some other prios.
Yeah, I would like to see the bans in the mid lane. I think that keeping that mid laner, somewhat limited.
Fiora!
Okay,
Boy!
we're playing for grubs.
Yes. Excited. So Fiora against Aatrox, pretty good pickup.
Yeah,
Very
not a terrible
easy,
matchup.
very easy to riposte pretty much everything from Aatrox, including if you do get hit by the Infernal Chains.
Yes,
Very easy.
choreographed.
Yes, it's completely choreographed.
It's
I
almost as bad.
like it seems like Miami's shifting a little bit of the focus away from one of the Silas or Akali, but I have a feeling they're still going to target mid lane. Yes, they are. The Akali, this time the LeBlanc, is also going to be the pick. I wonder if Buffalo bans away the Lulu like last time, completely picks, bans the same. But they are going to take away that Nivea, actually. Seems like that for the Olaf, it was very annoying to deal with the wall.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the Anivia was a big part of their success last game. Even though, he was picked a lot in that laning phase, the ability and the CC that he had, especially in that early scuffle. Oriana, love it.
Yeah, classic Quaker champ.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
would
hold
be
on.
crazy.
Okay,
I don't
good.
think so. I really want to see Valencia on a Renata here. They need disruption and disengage against a team that's going to be running in their face, especially if we expect more of that.
I like the
Lucian
Renata. Okay, yeah.
is
I think
another option for
I
especially because if their mid lane is going to pick something like if they don't care about the AP-ness, Yone is
Yeah.
something that they've played in the past. If they're trying to really run in, something like a Renata is going to be really great.
Yeah. Okay, so the karma is going to be flexed. Uh, it's looking like towards the mid lane, and then, or sorry, I say karma. Yeah, karma is going to be flexed towards the mid lane, and engage support, maybe something that they're looking for.
I think the Nautilus is probably your best bet
I'd
here, but
agree.
we'll have to see. Maokai did get nerfed,
It wasn't that
but
significant.
he is still seen. Looks like you're gonna look at the Leona. It's gonna be the Maokai.
Yeah.
So it is Maokai going into the support role again. Again, like I just said, was nerfed, but still seen play. And exactly like I said, I want to see that run out of this game. So useful against the engage that Buffalo has to offer. And once again, Valencia is on a really, really, really useful support.
Definitely not Maokai mid. Okay, good. But yeah, no, I like. I really like the Renata. I hope that it can pan out really well. I think it's really great into the Olaf, really great into the Lucian. Just making sure that they can't really play the game in these team fights is going to be imperative. Having the Oriana too is going to provide you a lot of value. Maybe try and get some setup with the Varus and his R. So I mean, I'm excited. I think hopefully it's going to be a bit like we saw last game of a lot of these scuffles because that's the most fun League of Legends games that we get to cast here. So
Right. Maokai in the support role up against Renata is a little bit unfortunate for the Renata
yes.
because of the twisted advance making him go immune. Can't really cancel a lot of his
No, and
engages.
if you walk up to try and poke, which is kind of Renata's not her whole thing, but like part of her laning phase, he always does have the opportunity to just W and Q you, and then
Right.
Lucian can follow up pretty easily.
But I do think in team fights and in the mid game, especially on any tempo roams that Valencia goes on, the hostile takeover and the handshakes are going to be very, very useful, especially against Olaf and Aatrox. I know Olaf does go CC immune with the Ragnarok, but
Yeah.
still, Renata really has a lot of the tools to help in this game. I'm also really excited to see Paul D. Springer on this
I love
Fiora.
Fiora, man. It's such a fun champion to watch, especially when it's played well. You can just see, it's very skill expressive. Just the way that you kind of dance around these team fights and procking vitals every which way. And getting that ultimate is something that is also it can be pretty difficult at some points, but doing it really well and doing it quickly is just a beauty to watch. So
Right, I totally agree. We always see those
the
the
flash,
right
yeah.
the speed run to
Oh my
see
god.
if you can proc all the four vitals as fast as possible. We usually see the Korean speedrunners do it in
Or like
like
the
a second.
Chinese ones, yeah, they have
Right,
like a flash combo where
it's
they can do it
crazy.
in like less than a second.
As
Yeah.
much as I'd love to see it this game,
Probably not.
I don't think we're gonna
We're
see
not
it.
gonna put those
But you
expectations.
can stick around and find out if that will happen from Paul D. Springer and what the result of the second game is going to be. We are going to take a short pause over on our end, but we will be right back for game number 2 in this best of 3 series. So stick with us. And welcome back to Summoner's Rift. ESC LOL action. We got Miami University and Buffalo. This is game number 2. Miami taking game number 1 beautifully.
Oh,
Just a little skin
Orbiana.
check. We love our Orbiana. We love our B skins.
That's Commander. We're not a glass. Or
Right.
Commander
That's
Glass.
Commander Glass.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
I like that skin. I'm a big fan. You get to see her actual whole face, which is cool. She doesn't have the mask on.
It is beautiful.
And
No 5-man this time.
yeah,
No
okay.
5v5s.
I think Buffalo learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe not to just face check a
Oh,
push.
Paldy Springer's gonna lunge. I don't think he got the proc.
No vital there, just cheeky Q. And it scared him off. Look, he's running. No, he's turning around. All right, but
some silliness right now. Paldy Springer playing with fire, just being a bully as he was last game, I would say.
yeah.
This time the Karma's not in the support role; it's in the mid lane. Interesting to see how that plays out, as Karma has been so annoying these past few patches, but has really been knocked down quite a lot.
Faker's 900th game, and those who are not familiar, Faker is probably the most famous League player of all time. His 900th game was this Karma in the mid lane, and he looked so amazing on it. He was doing so much damage, and it was really hard to take down in a lot of these team fights. So.
Right, especially quite difficult actually to play.
Yeah.
If you're the Orianna, just because the shielding and the ability to just move around in this lane is really easy for this Karma.
Yeah. What comes to mind too is you can just kind of run at this Orianna with the Empower W and just never die.
Yep.
So yeah, it is going to be a bit of a tough lane to play. Not really going to be able to match the damage that this Karma has with her Mantra Q. So just kind of playing it out, farming, not taking too many risks, and being able to match roams or just get platings is going to be the name of the game here.
Right. Both junglers starting on their bot side are pretty much doing the exact same clear mirrored. So they will be pathing towards top. It is important to note that Paldy Springer did place that early ward on to the blue and Gromp. So I don't know if it's going to time out before it sees Mumu's Slay.
Well, I mean, it's good that
does
they
give
know.
the information.
Yeah, they know it's not over there. Just they know where he's starting. He might look to. I mean, no, he looks like he is going to be pathing up. No invade this time.
Yeah, Evil Lobster's now gonna. They're now gonna know where he is if they spotted him on these Raptors.
Oh, there it is.
The ward's gonna spot him. So now both teams know where every jungler is. So we probably won't see anything fishy. And this is why this Fiora is really effective into the Aatrox, because she can really bob and weave around his kit
Great
easily.
trade from Paldy Springer.
Look at those vital procs though. Paldy Springer healing so much. But he's in a bad spot with this minion wave. He's actually gonna flash forward, but he gets the response flash from this Aatrox and forces a back. Paldy Springer is likely gonna have to back as well. But the wave state is really good for him.
No, yeah, really well played. I like the move to go for the flash, because if you do end up getting that kill onto this Aatrox, it's gonna make it so hard for him to lane. Just getting that early pressure and trying to and then shoving the wave in, it's just gonna make it kind of insufferable. So yeah, I really respect that kind of play from Paldy Springer.
Here we go.
Jungler's gonna have a bit of a stare down here.
Yep, both saying hello to each other. And they're
And
both going to say goodbye to each other.
They're like, oh, cares about,
Yeah, and that's kind of what I expected with both of them pathing topside and both of them, their locations being known pretty much from the start of the game, is they were going to both try something and then nothing was going to end up happening. And TSP's in a weird spot, but Lancelot's going to provide some space for him to move back into this lane. And yeah, this is about what I expected from bot lane. Miami sort of just pushing the wave from a safe distance and then backing away.
Every time we pan to bot lane, more melatonin gets entered in. It's just, I'm getting ready to hit the hay.
Yeah. But top lane has been pretty exciting, as we're going to see more exciting stuff. Paldy Springer, a little bit of a handshake trade into this top side.
Trades feel a bit more even than they did last game. Just Paldy Springer playing with a bit more caution now, because this Aatrox seems to be hitting his vitals quite well with the sweet spots, being able to trade back pretty effectively.
Yeah.
So
I do want to mention the CS lead bot lane is actually kind of major.
It's significant.
Right now.
I mean, and that's surprising, just considering that the nature of this Buffalo bot lane is just you can kind of punish any kind of overextension. So being able to have those CS numbers pretty impressive. Just having good spacing, And Quaker not doing bad himself, having actually a pretty minor CS lead in the mid lane. Again, pretty impressive considering what we mentioned. Um, there's is going to be early prioritization for these Void Gromps.
Yeah, Riposte is gonna save Potty Springer some health. They have Cryo mid lane though, and with this Orbiana backing, it looks like all three of these grubs are going to be going over to Buffalo. Potty Springer's sitting on a ward currently, and with Maokai moving up as well, those are pretty much secured. So once again, we see Buffalo prioritizing the early grubs over any sort of shenanigans bot lane,
Yeah, but
including that Drake.
it's a little unfortunate because instead of pivoting just to go for the Drake trade, Evil Lobster does.
Miami's He's kind of looking for something here. Quaker's here for backup, and they are going to land the wind becomes lightning.
No.
Onto this Maokai, going to flash into the stun. Meanwhile, top side, Potty Springer's trying to make it work, but they are going to pick up first blood onto Quaker. Aatrox is going to also pick up the kill onto this Fiora.
Yeah, so it does benefit Miami just a tad bit just because of the first blood there, just the extra 100 gold. And Evil Lobster's here to catch the wave and make sure it's not a complete disaster
Right,
for
can they
top lane.
find? It doesn't look like they're going to even try anything there. We'll just hold the way. That's a big wave, so thank God he
Yeah.
held it before it goes into turret.
Yeah, it would have been really difficult for Paulie Springer to recover from that one if there wasn't any help from his jungler. I mean, I wouldn't complain if I was Evil Lobster. He's like, oh, a tasty wave. I can just catch
Well,
some of these
NTSP is in a
minions.
bad spot. Look at the twisted advance. It is going to come out. Bramble Smash is going to push him back into this Lucian, which does so much damage. NTSP is forced to flash. We'll get the ignite out from this Maokai, but a little bit overextended there. Wasn't prepared for a cut by this Maokai.
Yes. And, you know, we just saw kind of the classic punish if you're overextended. I guess we didn't really see that a lot in lane. But, you know, demonstrating the capabilities of this Maokai to kind of push you back right into the Lucian's waiting arms.
And I do want to mention it. It's a hard heel cut game.
It is.
Again, for Miami, actually.
No, yeah, no. I mean, Olaf, Aatrox, Karma, Maokai. It's rare that you see a better.
Making a trade here. We'll get Conqueror procced. I don't know if he wins this trade, though.
Gets the
He's
vital.
going to get the vital, though, on that
Gets it
edge.
again.
Oh, but he's going to early riposte, which means he's going to have to lunge away and probably try to edge around this. But look at the Olaf is coming into the spot lane, trying to match Evil Lobster. You haven't spotted him yet, and TSP is going to walk into that bush, though. A Flash Bramble, Flash Pursuit Advance is going to secure that kill, and NTSP just really was playing with fire there, just walking up into that bush, and it means that Drake does go over to Buffalo.
Yeah, no response. I mean, Paul D. Springer, I don't know if you noticed, did actually end up getting solo kills there towards the top lane. Really unfortunate. Not able to kind of grab that Drake like they did last game. And it's going to make it harder. Obviously, those Drakes were a big part of why they were so safe in those side lanes, you know, having that Cloud Soul, that speed up. So not having that is going to bite them a little bit.
Right, and now it's Buffalo with the early lead. We said it last game that the early lead really matters in these games, especially with these volatile team comps. So Buffalo having this early lead is going to really set them up for success. It's around a 1k gold lead here. Potty Springer is going to proc the Grand Challenge, though. There is a flash available. World Ender is used.
Bit late.
But yeah, quite late. With this wave pushing in, that's kind of a risk.
Yeah, we don't really see any of the junglers or anyone pathing too hard topside.
They're edged into a corner here on bot side, but they are going to get out safely. And now we're back to farming pretty much. Mid lane has been pretty much as expected. Pretty even in the CS department. Quaker just doing his best to CS. Pretty much the Karma clearing this wave and then him clearing it back.
Riveting gameplay.
Yeah, quite riveting. Meanwhile, though, maybe some riveting. Karma's going to move up into the top side, just get spotted by a ward. We'll ping that.
Yeah.
And Aatrox is going to take A back.
And you know, I didn't mention this earlier, but looking just at the team composition on the side of Buffalo, them getting these early objectives is going to matter actually a lot more, not just because of the split composition of the split push composition of Miami, but also just because their comp definitely has an expiration date. Like, we got an Olaf, we have a Lucian, we have an Aatrox. These champions are just not going to match the scaling of things like a Fiora or you know, the Varus, the Orianna. I mean, that's just not how the game works. So More
Four
void grubs.
grubs going over. Evil Lobster's on a ward again, which makes this quite difficult to contest these grubs. That's 5 grubs, and it will probably be all 6 grubs going over to Buffalo. Evil Lobster just channels his recalls, unable to really do anything up here.
Yeah. Aatrox did have first move, but he
Oh,
does
but he's not
cancel
coming
it.
back. Yeah, Paldy Springer is going in. Procs the Grand Challenge. Olaf is here. They haven't really been able to get that much damage, and now Evil Lobster's in a bad spot. It's a flash, but not that far away, and Mumu is going to pick up another kill.
Yeah. Uh, and I mean, we're seeing this Aatrox kind of this lack of Aatrox prio.
Yeah, they're
by
looking
Miami.
for Paldy Springer to World Ender is used. It's a great riposte, though. They're trying to juggle the turret aggro, and they will effectively. Another kill goes over to this Aatrox. And yeah, now Buffalo's top side is the one that's really far ahead in this game, and it's getting kind of scary. You don't want to see this Fiora end up in the spot that Riven was in last game.
Yeah, no, I think that Miami looking a bit silly for not prioritizing the Aatrox a bit more. Like, I mean, to me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, obviously we saw that he didn't really have, Buffalo's top lane didn't really have a response to this blind Aatrox, so I don't know why you prioritize. I mean, the Xin Zhao's great. Like, he did fine last game, even more than fine, I'd say. He had really good map movement, but I wouldn't say it was the reason they won. I would just say it was the Aatrox. You know, I mean, not entirely, but to not prioritize that and draft and to give it away to Buffalo's top lane, who has such a good idea of how to pilot his champion, just seems a bit counterintuitive. So hopefully, Miami, take some notes. I'm not saying it's going to a game 3 yet. I mean, obviously, we said Miami's comp is going to scale, but it is looking a bit dire.
Yeah, exactly like what you said. I'm looking to see Miami slow this game down.
Yeah.
Let's start just farming waves safely. If we're fearful of a gank because we have a hunch, let's play back a little bit. Paldy Springer is going to play aggressive, though. Again, knows Evil Lobster's up here. And they're not going to be able to really get much out of it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of the times when Miami has really good trades or movement in their own individual lanes, there's just not really a lot of follow up. We see Paulie Springer having these great trades, and really taking this Aatrox low, but he's able to just kind of sit down, hunker down, and sit under tower and be like, okay, I'm not going to give anything over. And then Buffalo's just doing a really good job of knowing when to engage.
Oh, they're looking out to Valencia. She's going to flash over the wall. Will get caught up by the Twisted Advance.
Is kind of hard to dive a Renata, though.
Yeah. But it will kind of zone Miami enough away and give enough information to Buffalo that they could probably set up for this Drake in 20 seconds. Evil Lobster is backing right now. I don't know if he's going to really be able to make it in time. Olaf is looking for a play mid lane meanwhile, and Quaker's just going to be able to get away safely, though. But they still have control over this bottom river.
Yeah,
This Drake is Cloud.
yeah.
So we won't be seeing Cloud Soul this game, but
hope for
look at where
Miami's
they're hiding. This danger. I don't know if he knows where they are. So it's caught up. The hostile takeover doesn't affect this Ragnarok. And meanwhile, top lane, Paldy Springer is taken solo, but on the bot side of the map, this will guarantee Drake for Buffalo.
Yeah, and Paulie Springer just gonna be forced off his own
Yeah,
tower.
this is really dangerous. He's going to proc the Grand Challenge, try and just get Aatrox off of this turret.
Yeah, not gonna be able to complete it for that healing. Just put in a really tough spot. And
Oh, it's a great repulse. Is he going to be able to turn this around? It looks like he will. That's a huge shutdown and an
guess what?
outplay.
And I was just about to say it until we got interrupted by that prize attack by the Olaf. Let's hope it's Chemtech, because listen, that Drake just sucks. It's just not that good. I mean, the healing and shielding power is nice, especially for this comp. You definitely want as much healing power as you can get, but I don't know. It's just, out of all the Drakes, it is just the least effective and the one that you really care the least about prioritizing. So, probably best possible outcome for Miami in terms of objectives. And, like you said, just slowing this game down, being able to find responses to a lot of these plays that Buffalo is trying to create. But right now, Paulie Springer bouncing back pretty effectively, trying to equalize the gold on the top side of the map.
Evil Lobster is on this top side of the map, which I'm really happy to see, because this Rift Herald could be a little scary with Buffalo having all 6 grubs.
A million pop out.
Right, exactly. Valencia's looking mid lane. Karma, Flash, and Shields is not going to do much, but do they know that this Maokai's top side? Meanwhile, in the river, Evil Lobster's right on top of this Olaf. The Ragnarok's going to dodge away from the command Shockwave. Its great wind becomes lightning, but it won't be able to finish him off. Nature's Grasp is going to come out, and Evil Lobster is still chasing. This is the power of this mid-top duo, but look at the power of this Aatrox booming through the crowd. But here comes Paul D. Springer in response, going to be able to finish the kill with the Grand Challenge. The kill does end up going over to Quagert.
And not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it seemed to be a bit of an overchase from the side of Miami. As Evil Lobster hungry for some kills, trying to get that KD back up. But and the Aatrox, smacked him around a little bit. But listen, I like that. I like that Quager got a kill, and the response from Miami was good. Valencia with pretty good play there on the Renata. So could be worse.
I do want to mention, though, this Lucian was free farming bot lane by himself, and that could be kind of scary because we're getting to the point where Lucian is going to be that scary champion. Of course, the concern with Lucian is you're so easily targeted down.
Yeah.
If he gets shockwave this game, he's going to die.
Yeah.
Pretty much 100% of the time. But right now, we're sitting in that beautiful spot for him. Look, he's going to force out the flash with the command shockwave. Trigger taken pretty much equally low, ends up being a handshake trade.
Yeah, and we see the power of that Mantra Q and the shockwave that it creates afterwards. But Quaker does have that double buff, so he's going to be able to regen quite effectively.
Right, Evil Lobster's coming down as well. I will mention that Rift Herald was just taken. Meanwhile, top side, they're looking for something with turret dead. Paul D. Springer's in a lot of trouble. Will flash away from the infernal chains, but I don't really see a way out of this. Can try to turn it with the Grand Challenge. A repulse won't really help all that much, and he will end up falling. Miami's going to try to respond by getting this tier 1 turret, but I think Buffalo can just keep pushing. Remember, they have the Rift Herald, and they are actually going to spawn it here. They have 6 grubs. They can really keep pushing here. Miami's going to have to respond.
Yeah, not great. Just using the flash there is a bit of a questionable call. Might just punish Paul D. Springer a little bit later in the game. Might feel the consequences of that. So, yeah.
Evil Lobster's still looking for something here. They're so far behind in gold right now. Quager with the command shockwave is going to get it. Evil Lobster will likely be able to secure this kill up. Quager takes it, and they're going to be able to pick up this kill. I like the idea from Miami, trying to get side lane kills, trying to really claw them way back into this game because they're in a really rough spot. But they're going to continue being a rough spot if they continue to get caught out. NTSP is going to get bailed out. Will land the Chain of Corruption, which is very nice, into the hostile takeover. Means this Aatrox is totally screwed. A shutdown again going over to Paul D. Springer.
And I love it. I love that the shutdown goes to him specifically. The two people that I want to see getting these kills are Orianna and the Fiora. As much as I think Varus is good to have kills on, it's kind of a hard game to play. They have a lot of lockdown on the side of Buffalo, and if you get caught and the Aatrox just dunks on you, not much you can do. But Orianna, a bit more maneuverability, and Fiora, especially if she has any kind of gold to work with, it's going to be a nightmare. So, like that, and Miami finding opportunities where they can, and I think that's exactly what they need to be doing.
Right, they need to continue to play smart with this map. I think Miami sometimes struggles when they are the ones being beaten down on the map control, which, I mean, yeah, it sounds like, yeah, go figure, but still. Evil Lobster is going to have to use that ultimate to get himself out safely. Dragon is up, which means that this is kind of guaranteed with that being used. Yeah, and I don't think Miami's going to really have a chance to fight for any of this, even though they are all bot side. So how are you going to be able to really respond on anywhere on the map?
I can tell you what Miami's saying, right? They're saying, "Oh no, it's Soul Point for Chemtech. How terrible!" It's not. I mean, it's not too bad. Obviously, you probably do want to contest the soul itself, but dropping one of those just to ensure that you're not, having kind of a disastrous team fight, not too bad of a call. I respect it. So yeah, you want to just make sure that you're getting these items, you're getting everything you need in order to have that, because I feel like the next team fight that's going to happen, the next 5v5 that we see, maybe not the next few picks, but the next 5v5 might just decide the game.
I
Because
was just about to mention
yeah,
that because we have Baron up, and it's really gonna be if Miami can somehow make the team fight work for them, they can really start to claw their way back into this game, get a Baron, and
yeah.
really start snowballing off of that. If it's Buffalo who gets the team fight win handedly, then they're gonna get Baron and extend that lead further to a point where it might be really difficult for Miami to come back. So really all eyes are on this game right now to see what happens in these next couple minutes.
Because my eyes are noticing that Miami is in striking distance. So yeah, they have this game state that they need. Game's gone on long enough that they might just have an opportunity to bring this one back. So yeah, I'm liking their chances.
Yeah, this Lucian is so scary though. Already has 2 items, Storm
Yeah.
Razor and the Rapid
That's
Fire.
a lot of burst.
I mean, NTSP needs to get that second item completed before this Baron gets started up, and I think that Buffalo kind of knows that and is willing to really, really pressure a lot of these lanes and sort of take these risks, knowing that they are so far ahead in these items.
Yeah, NTSP really is going to be a big deciding factor on whether or not these team fights go Miami's way. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think, again, my eyes are on the top lane, eyes are on the mid lane. And yeah, I think if they can burst solution, it's going to make a really big difference. And they are posturing, just clearing out some vision
Yeah,
for the top side.
they wanna get some vision in that top side because they really can't afford to be surprised here. I mean, if Baron goes without a team fight, that is equally
that's
as
game.
bad.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of gold and that's a lot of pressure. So not really something that either team wants to have happen. And Polly Springer going to be going
Playing aggressive once again is going to lunge forward. Proc the Grand Challenge. It's going to be hard to get that one proc though, but he is dealing actually a huge amount of damage. We'll get the riposte off. Is Aatrox going to be able to turn this with his healing? No, he will not. Polly Springer picks up the solo kill in the bot lane, and that's really big for Miami. Buffalo cannot take Baron without this Aatrox pressure with the TP.
and they might just be able to look to do it here. Having no Aatrox, I mean, I would. It's like a risky call because the jungler of Buffalo is still up. I wouldn't blame them if they decide not to. They'd be doing it on vision, and TSP is going to be chunked quite a bit.
Yeah, I think if Chain of Corruption gets out there, they might try to make a big play after that. But good reserve.
I'm not gonna
use.
play, and it's a solo kill on the bottom side of the map. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But like we said, it's not going to be the picks. It's going to be these 5v5s that are going to be really what is going to matter here. That is going to help accelerate Polly Springer a bit more. He does have the Grievous Wounds built, like we mentioned. Like to see that. I'm wondering if any other members of Miami need to build it. Probably not. Polly Springer, as long as he's in these fights, is going to have pretty good application, being able to hit most of the members of Buffalo. And yeah, again, Miami just doing whatever they can to try and make it easier.
This could be scary. Valencia does not know there's 2 members there, and she's going to get caught up by the Twisted Advance. Not even going to need to flash. Will just be taken out, and there are now pings going over to Baron without Valencia up. Anything like a hostile takeover to really disengage a fight or make things turn towards Miami's favor for just a second are not there. They are just starting this Baron. I think Miami 100% knows this though, but I don't know if they're going to be able to really do anything. This is an interesting Baron pit, though. They have lots of angles to go from.
I'm looking for a steal.
Yeah, Quaker is still in this bot lane. He'll get the TP soon for... I mean, he will finally proc that TP. They don't actually deal a lot of damage. I think they're just going to back away
they can't
here.
take it.
Yeah, they don't have the ability to take it. World Ender is used. They just baited I think they just wanted the TP from Quagert, and they did get it. They are going to get mid turret as well.
Not bad. I mean, if you look at everything that was happening around the pit, it was just a straight up thing.
Right. Oh, a flash twisted advance goes on to Quagert, who's going to flash away once again. It's a command shockwave used to get away from the tether. Ghost is used by Olaf. Valencia is going to spot this Aatrox. And Fiora's going to keep pushing.
Look at this. I mean, like, there's pings coming down, but Fiora's just moving. She's moving. She's just taking the turrets. No one's contesting her. They
It
were
looks like
super
Aatrox is
distracted.
moving over now. Does have TP available.
Uh-oh. could be a
Now
little
they're
bit rough.
back, and I don't know if Fior's going to be able to get out of this safely.
No, she's
Will
gone.
lunge away. There's 3 people, but Miami's on Baron. But do they know that Mumu Slay is still there? They actually know that they are taking this right now.
They're gonna
And TSP also in a really, really bad spot. I think he's actually just going to fall here. And now this actually could just mean Baron for Buffalo. Miami trying to jump the gun. Biting them in the back, though.
Lobster may look for a steal. Aatrox to make it pretty difficult.
Yeah,
Valencia
hostile
with
takeover is huge. But look at the Aatrox damage. I think this is just a clean Baron.
Yeah, not much they can do.
The Lobster is going to at least try to get one kill. They take Baron so slowly, actually. Shutdown Gold even is taken onto this Aatrox by killing Quaker. And now Miami's in a lot of trouble this game. They're down 5k. Valencia is going to be taken down as well. It's a double kill going over to this Aatrox. And now Buffalo really has full control of the game. Although,
Denied the soul.
denied the soul.
But you know, it's not good. It's I can't lie to you and say, oh, it's you know, like you got a lot topside. No, it's you know, it wasn't the 5v5 we wanted, and it's just kind of a greedy play, honestly. Miami, you know, as much as I feel like they could be in a position because a lot of members of Buffalo had to back to match the Fiora, that wasn't gonna last very long. I think we all knew that, and you know, choosing to take the Baron when you're not really in a position when all the members of Buffalo are up is just going to spell trouble because you don't really have the damage you need. This Varus doesn't have the items in order to just burst it down. So, yeah, it's going to definitely hurt.
Yeah, it is a really difficult game for Miami to now get back in. I kept saying I wanted them to take this slow. Baldy Springer doesn't want to take it slow, though. He's looking for a solo kill up on this top side, and he will get it. It's his 3rd shutdown onto this Aatrox. The Lobster's in a little bit of trouble here now, though, but it might actually just be Quaker. Look at the CC Immune Ragnarok.
Look at the movement, though.
I know, but Quaker's actually going to be able to get away, but they are getting flanked now. It's a great command shockwave that brings the Lucian to half health. But again, Miami, they're so far behind right now. They're just trying to stall this game. Fior's not matched. I think it's really going to be up to Baldy Springer to try and claw
Look at how many
team
backs.
back.
Look at how many backs are coming from the side. I mean, Baldy Springer just sitting menacingly in a side lane is going to demand all of this attention from the side of Buffalo and really negate a lot of the things that they're trying to accomplish with this Baron. I mean, obviously, it was still a net really big positive for him, or for them as a whole. But you know, Baldy Springer really doing a good job of leveraging his power and you know getting these picks onto the Aatrox, just collecting these shutdowns over and over again is really what's keeping them in the game right now.
I totally agree.
I think without this kind of pressure that you have, they would have lost this game like 5 minutes ago.
It is still very far behind that Miami is going to have to get back from. But if they can sort of stall this out, I mean, they'd need to make this like a really long 50-minute game. And this Maokai's not having it. Quaker's been locked up. Excuse me, Valencia has been locked up. And now this Aatrox is dealing a lot. Force the flash away out of turret. And this Maokai might have gone a little bit too far. And TSP's going to pick up a reverse kill. TSP's firing away his arrows to the best of his ability. And Baldy Springer is here as well. It's a great shockwave, but he's gone CC immune. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat this Olaf, but NTSP is actually going to be able to beat the Lucian. Quaker is still very healthy, but NTSP is not taking so much damage from these Baron minions. The shield from Quaker will keep him alive. Overall, not terrible for Miami. 2 for 2, keep their base alive.
Yeah. It's still a pretty dire game state, though. As much as I want to say, you know, I did say Miami does outscale. It is looking rough. And the Varus did get a little bit of an injection of gold in that fight. Not super terrible, but, you know, Baldy Springer, you know, when they're constantly forcing these 5v5s, isn't going to have the agency to go to side lanes and just push like he wants to. And it's a really tough game to win. You know, but denying that soul is going to buy them a little bit of time. And the Baron obviously has expired. Probably is going to be respawning in about, it's about 2 minutes. The soul in about 1:30. So Miami has a lot to look to. And if these team fights don't go their way, that's game. I mean, there's not really anything that they can do. Don't have a lot of turrets remaining. They're treading on thin ice.
I was just about to mention I need Baldy Springer in the side lane stat. He has the TP up. Dragon is up in a minute. Miami needs to play safely. They need to play with caution here, and they need to play smart because This is one way they can
Uh-oh.
win this game.
I don't think they heard you.
No, I don't think so. They didn't even hit the plant in time. A shockwave goes wide as well. Quaker's been locked up completely. Will flash away,
No
but
TP
he's
coming
being
out.
chased, and Valencia's gonna fall as well. That's so likely, and potentially game going over to Buffalo, as it looks like, yeah, they're pinging mid lane, looking for that inhib, and then they might just transition that straight away into the
A
dragon.
wave quite yet, but
The Aatrox has backed, but with these grub mites, they should be able to take this turret pretty quickly. Poly Springer's gonna be able to take inhib, which is nice. It looks like this Aatrox is just kind of being there to be annoying.
he doesn't win this bait race. It's looking like it's
Are they just going to be going for a base race? It looks like they are, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it. In fact, looks like, yeah, Poly Springer's just looking to TP here, and already NTSP has fallen. It's not looking good for them. Poly Springer's doing the best he can, looking to lock down that Lucian. It's a great repulse. All eyes are on that, and the bailout is pretty huge, but Ragnarok's going to prevent a lot. Great handshake to try and stall away, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. All 5 members of Buffalo are still alive and healthy, and it looks like game number 2 is going to them, and we've got a little bit of a series on our hands. We're going to game 3.
actually, I don't know if it's technically Silver Scrapes because that is kind of a terminology reserved for 5-game series, but you know,
It's our little Silver
it's
Scrapes.
game 3, and it's gonna be a tough one. But I think Miami has a lot of notes that they can take from that game. Obviously, Aatrox Prio gonna skyrocket. I think they do have side selection as well. For game 3, that is going to benefit them quite a bit. I'm curious to see if they pivot towards the blue side. Haven't tried that yet this series. Um,
So I'm
yeah.
really, I think it's really important that we emphasize how important these early game leads have been for
Yes.
both teams. Both teams, they got the early game lead, they snowballed it
Mhm.
very easily
Mhm.
in both games. So I mean, it's really early game that's
Yeah.
mattering in this series. I do want to note a fun stat is that both of these teams are 0-1 in 3 games.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the tiebreaker for that as well. We've seen both these teams go neck and neck with actually some of the best teams in the league right now, with
Mhm.
Miami up against Northeastern. They went to 3 games,
Yeah.
and
The current.
Buffalo went to 3 games with NKU.
Yes.
Both of these teams are undefeated. They went to 3 games and they lost the 3rd set. So really excited to see this right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to take a little break before we get into game number 3. So stick with us. This is super exciting. I'm really excited to see who pulls through on this in our little Silver Scrapes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Silver Scrapes.
Our Silver Scrapes, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, ESC Collegiate League of Legends, Miami University up against Buffalo. It's 1-1 in the series. We saw Miami take game 1, Buffalo take game 2. It was all about those early games.
Yep.
Both games, the reason why each team won was really because of that early game. They were able to snowball their lead really easily. They got ahead early. Junglers really mattered in both of those games.
Top
And
laners.
top side
Yeah.
was the focus every single time, especially that Aatrox. I'm really looking to see what side Miami selects
Do they
and
ban it?
what happens to the Aatrox.
Yeah. I mean, if I hypothetically, if I was Buffalo, I was like, listen, as much as I really liked their top laner on the Aatrox, they're if they're end up being red side and they don't have first pick and Miami's okay, they're probably gonna first pick Aatrox. I would just ban it. You know, because seeing Paul D. Springer on that Aatrox is like, it was okay. The Aatrox of Buffalo he's great. He played the lane well. Got utilized the 2v2s or the 2v1 with his jungler, but you know giving it to Paul D. Springer just seems like a death wish. He's so effective on this champion. He's so consistent and really can just take over games. I mean, just on a Fiora, we saw what he was able to do. The whole reason that, like I said, that Miami was still in that game is is just because of him. And we are going to be jumping in a draft.
I'm excited to see. Let's start with the bans. We saw the first 2 games, same exact bans in the first phase. Second phase, a little bit of a switch up here and there with Miami banning the Blanc, but for the most part, not much change. We already see the same 2 champs, but different times they're being banned, so that kind of makes me think that we're going to get a little bit of a switch up. But so far, no. Buffalo banning the Seraphine and the Smolder. Miami with the Graves again. And this Kindred. I wonder if they ban the Olaf. I wonder if they ban the Aatrox.
Yeah, they ban it themselves. I mean, they've seemed stuck to red side here, so could be a good ban. I mean, it is risky to give it. A lot of the reason they weren't able to snowball, they do ban the Karma.
I actually kind of like that. I think in that second game it was really effective. It totally neutralized the mid lane, and because of its flex potential, it's hard to set up a counter pick. I think Miami purposefully leaves the Aatrox up because they're cooking something.
Yeah,
and it worries me, but also kind of excites me. I don't think it's Fiora this time.
I don't
It could
wanna
be
see a Fiora
Rumble.
again.
It could be Kled. It could be Urgot. It could be anything.
I hope it's Camille.
Oh, it looks like Fiora again. I mean, the Fiora was extremely effective against it.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
can't deny that.
There was just a lot of jungle pressure on him. I mean, a lot of the times he did get solo killed a couple of times, but a lot of it was set up by the side of Buffalo and the jungle pressure. So I'm not against it.
Yes.
Hey, I'm never against any kind of troll. We love the Trundle here.
Especially with Evil Lobster. This is one of his comfort picks. It was nerfed not this patch, but last patch, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, Evil Lobster loves this pick. It's really good against these brawler type champions like Aatrox. With your bite slow.
And if Buffalo opts to lock in a tank, great target to just steal those stats away. They are going to pick away that Varus from NTSP. I would imagine he goes to something maybe like an Ashe, an Ezreal, wouldn't mind it. It is a little bit of a takeaway just because he has played that in the past 2 series and looked pretty good on it.
Yes, I agree.
He struggled a bit last game, but he did have a pretty consistent CS lead until Lucian was able to kind of just free farm. But even in those later game team fights when he was behind, he was free hitting and doing pretty well and kiting. Ooh.
Oh, we get Shaco. Classic comfort pick. And we've actually seen Evil Lobster play it a lot too, so he is familiar with Shaco a lot. It is most likely going to be full lethality, which with Trundle and Fiora being the only 2 picks, I'd like to see Miami sort of respond to it effectively. Love the Veigar. Quaker loves this pick as well. It's scaling, and But almost every single time we see Quaggard on it, it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter that he skills. He always gets that leader no
No,
matter
no,
what.
he does, despite the weakness of this early game of this champion, know how to just play the lane right, where he's not really super vulnerable, and just can just stack and CS very effectively, and just keep up with whoever the laner is, even if it's someone that's like kind of a mid lane bully. You know,
Right.
he's still able to be relevant. He's on the roams, and one thing I love about this guy's vibe is just his cage play. It's so good.
Yes.
He knows where to
Incredible.
put it, just to maximize the lockdown that it's going to have and it get people locked up in.
Right. You gotta say, man, this is why I love 3 game series because we start seeing those actual changes in drafts.
Yeah, I
In
know.
just 2 games, you really don't see the mix-ups. Like we saw in those first 2 games, it was basically two same team comps, right?
Yeah, I know.
But in this third game, we're starting to see a little bit of difference. We see the Trundle instead of the Shinzao, Varus going on the other side, Shaco's being brought out, the Veigar already. For the most part, though, bans are actually pretty much identical.
Yeah,
Besides that Karma, a Mumu's being hovered here. A
I
Mumu
like that.
yeah, I could see a Mumu Callista potentially is usually a
Oh no,
pick.
I don't like it.
I think that's just a hover. I don't want to get caster baited. So we'll have to see what they end up picking here. I wonder if they save the support pick.
I
And
like
it
that.
looks like
Okay,
what
I
they
think
are.
okay. This is a bit dangerous
Mm.
territory because okay, looking at all the picks here on the side of Miami, it's a really good Yumi game. But
Ooh, it
Valencia, if
is.
you she made a vow to not lock in Yumi this season, and let's see if she can stick to her word
Yeah.
because
This is actually a very good
look at
Yuumi
I
game.
mean
You're right.
Trundle with the Fury. You have all the resources that you need in order to make it work. And I can't think of a
Interesting.
better lane for Sivir than that Yumi.
Right.
So
I was actually going to mention Nautilus here, but the Rel is instead going to be the choice. Rel kind of really struggles into Veigar
yes,
in team fights, but I suppose it's more so for the lane. Jace is being hovered for the mid lane up against the Veigar.
not bad.
Try and respond with the poke, sort of not have to deal with Cage in lane at all.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see instead of that Yumi, maybe I wouldn't mind the Sona again, Sona run back.
I wouldn't mind Malphite. I know it's
Malphite, hold
crazy.
on.
It's a full AD from Buffalo, like to an
I think the Shaco
extreme
could
extent.
pivot to AP,
He
but
could. I just think this is such a 5v5 game.
oh no.
Oh, she did it!
Oh,
The cat on Summoner's Rift, ladies
all
and
right.
gentlemen. That vow has been broken.
Yeah,
I'm happy it's been broken.
I'm
I
not.
agree with you. This is a fantastic Yumi game. Yumi Sivir's classic combo. Yumi on Fiora, insufferable.
There could
It,
be
it
a
really
Zeri
is.
Hecarim in the game. Say Yumi would be good. I hate that champion. I hate that champion with a burning passion, just like everyone else in the league community, except the people that main her.
But I'm
And
excited to see it today. I think Miami has like a really cohesive team
I would
comp
agree.
here.
Yes.
They have the vibes of Sivir on the hunt. Let's run forward
Yes.
into their team.
Trundle C, Trundle hit with club.
Right. They are going to be running into a chain of corruption and Rel, but I like running into a Jace.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
I like the odds of that.
Yeah.
I running into an Aatrox is kind of scary, but I think they have better ways to sort of deal with this Aatrox.
Yeah.
Um, it's just going to be up to again the early game.
Yeah.
That's really the major concern here because Buffalo gets ahead early. It's definitely sealed for them. If Miami can even make it even early, they have a Veigar as
Yeah.
backup,
A-
and they have a Yumi
They
as
have
backup,
oh,
and
don't
Sivir.
remind me.
They have they and I also think that Miami has great tools to stall the game out. They have excellent wave clear this game,
I
and I
would
know
agree.
that's like such a weird
Silver
thing to
best
note,
one of the
but
best wave killer champions, especially
exactly.
late game, but even mid game. Just really can just take out these waves in a matter of seconds. Um is gonna get the extra sustain in lane from the Yumi passive. Best friends, but yeah, no, it is definitely a cohesive draft. Definitely came in with a clear idea of in their heads of what they wanted, and it's looking great. And I think a lot of the issues that Miami had were actually kind of due to that Olaf too, because the early game pressure that the champions provides, where he can just kind of run at you and not really have to worry about taking super risky trades because he has so much innate healing, especially when he starts to get lower in health. Shaco doesn't really provide that. As much as he's cringe and he can go invisible, unless he gets really fed, he can't really change the tide of a game. His ganks are a little hard, but as long as you ward correctly, set up vision, you kind of keep track of where he is in his own jungle. Um, not the same kind of threat that an Olaf would have,
Right.
just in terms of the early game.
It's another Aatrox versus Fiora game as well, I should mention. So we're getting a repeat of the last game. Same people on the same champs.
Yes.
And yet again, we got to look up there. It's
Yeah.
been top lane this entire series to denote what then proves effective in team fights. In the first game, the Riven was put so far behind she couldn't really do anything.
Yep.
In the second game, Paul D. Springer could actually do a lot, but it wasn't
It was
more
in a
than the
side lane.
Aatrox, right?
It was in a
It was
side
in the
lane.
to get solo kills. Once in team fights, though, he kind of got shut down and wasn't able to really carry that game.
Or didn't TP.
Right, exactly. So
But
I'm really
yeah.
excited to see how this turns out. This is Silver Scrapes game 3 in this ESC LOL match between Miami and Buffalo. Stick with us. We will be right back before we hop into game. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. It's times like these in Game 3s where I wish we had a soundboard and I could play some really cool sound effects. Yeah.
Bump, 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 bada bump, and a
Oh,
pause.
we got a game pause. Oh,
We're back.
we got baited. We're in this game. We got UB this time. Good to know. Oh, is that King Begar?
It is.
We got beautiful B skins on the Rift. We got Miami looking
And
into
we
this
got a
top side
freeze.
of the map. We are frozen really quick. But let's talk a little bit more about these team comps. As we said, Miami is so speedy.
Yes.
They're really looking to run forward. They're looking to 5v5 in these team
And I
fights.
hear the game, so we might be going back. But yeah.
And then on the side of Buffalo, what are we feeling here with this Aatrox? They're trying to look side lane, trying to get those leads early.
Yeah, and I think it's really kind of up to the Shaco in order to see where he wants to prioritize his ganks, because you know those, as much as like he doesn't really have a lot of hard CC, the boxes can make a really big difference if they're placed well, and this guy has a lot of experience on this Shaco. Is gonna opt for the ignite, is gonna be like you predicted, the 80 variant. So yeah, gonna be going full aggro, seeing if he can take the game into his hands. And really, I'm gonna be probably suspecting a lot of invades, even though it's a Trundle and he has a, you know, he can just kind of hit you. The ignite gives you a lot of just pressure. If you can get those crits and those backstabs, is gonna make it really difficult for the Trundle to play the game and clear his own jungle.
Right, Miami, I like this. Already pinging, concerned about this bot side.
Oh, there's the control ward.
Very good.
They know.
Onto this bot side of the map. Meanwhile, Evil Lobster is going to start pathing from top side, and it's a reverse from this Shaco who's going to be start pathing from this bot side. And I will actually note that he's not doing a Raptor start with the Shaco.
No,
He's doing a red start.
And he is going to get a bit of a leash to accelerate his clear. Really trying to make sure that he's going to start to get these ganks off pretty quickly. It is going to be matched by a leash from Paulie Springer. And yeah, he's just going to see over the wall and start these, start these Krugs. My goodness. And I'm excited to see a run back of this. I think Paulie Springer didn't really get the opportunity he deserved to show off his skills on this Fiora, because obviously he felt confident enough to pick it again. And I don't blame him. I think, as much they did really struggle to get a lot of the things that make Fiora super relevant. Imagine what he would have done with those side lane pushes if they had some of those grubs. Like,
Exactly.
they were denied all 6 grubs, and he was still managed to push for an in.
Ooh, I like this aggression from Evil Lobster. Last, in the first game where Miami won, the jungle was so aggressive moving with the team from the very start of the game, and I like to see that back from Evil Lobster, and I think he's just going to be able to get this blue safely.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolf's take is a bit slow from the Shaco.
Oh,
He's
he's
going to
gonna
notice that something's up here. Bit too late.
Yep, and blue stolen away by Evil Lobster means that he's going to get away scot-free. And also with that control ward placed on Miami's blue, he's going to be able to full clear his bot side as well after taking Raptors. And then a bonus, Paulie Springer now knows that Shaco is topside, knows the threat, understands the threat at least of these early ganks from Shaco with Deceive. So going to be
He's
able
gonna
to
be
play
moving
safe.
up there though. Maybe looking for a cheeky invade.
Looking for a cheeky
Not a
kill.
great dive angle. Not gonna find many camps to clear here either.
No, and it's going to put him pretty far behind actually.
Yeah, losing a lot of tempo because there's not really an angle to gank this Fiora, so not bad on the side of Evil Lobster. Really making sure that he is doing everything he can to put the Shaco as far behind as possible.
Right, they will trade 1-for-1 Scuttles, however, but it is going to be a 1-camp lead ending up to go to Evil Lobster here. He'll take Gromp and then likely take his Scuttle. Bot lane, there's been lots of pings. They're looking to push this wave hard as they forced an early back from this Ferris Rel lane.
He's still looking for camps to clear.
Yeah, and those camps are not going to be up for a while.
No, yeah, and there's no, I mean, just the way that top lane has been changed, there's not really an angle to gank. Evil Lobster
Right.
not taken too, or Paulie Springer not taken very low right now, so.
Yeah, and Evil Lobster's bot side as well still. And look, you can see they know where he is still.
Yeah.
He is going to be able to probably take this Krug camp, but so much time has been spent in this top side. There is a big wave pushing in, but if Miami doesn't give up a kill at all, or give up any more than like 1 camp really, then they're kind of happy with this.
And look at Evil Lobster. He is going to be just matching the invade and running down to these Krugs to see, and just stealing back, So really good response. Paulie Springer still cognizant that this Shaco is in the area, going to be playing a bit more passively, and still protecting those vitals. So keeping himself healthy, the Shaco is going to take it back.
And it's really bad that he's taking it back, kind of, even though he sort of has to, because he's going to walk into his bot side jungle and then realize again that all camps have been stolen.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's on his way. He's pathing there. And he's
Right,
like,
and he's
"Wait a
pathing to
minute."
Krug specifically, which is the camp that Evil Lobster just
He's going
told.
to queue over.
Quaker also has been getting a decent amount of prio in this mid lane, did just back though, which is a little bit unfortunate, so
Oh, hold on.
he can actually get collapsed on here. Quaker is going to TP.
Misses the smite on the big romp, but if you've got a few of the little ones, that's really a big deal.
Ooh, a great riposte onto the Aatrox, means some good damage from Paulie Springer. He's gonna actually look, that's a really good vital placement, another very good vital placement. This could be first blood, and it is going over to Paulie Springer, and you love to see that on the Fiora.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, with this champion, first blood is just so impactful. It feels so hard to play against a Fiora who has a kill lead, even if it's just 1 kill. Like, I've been in that situation so many times as a former reformed top lane mate. That I mean, I ban this champion so often just because it's so hard. Like, this champion just feels so impactful after getting a kill. Like, being able to utilize it so effectively, and like every bit of gold, it just matters so much.
Right, those plated steel caps are already doing so much, and he's also hit 6, gonna force out the World Ender, but he kind of knew that Shaco was topside, gonna have to walk away quite late here. Evil Lobster is coming up.
Can fight this.
Yeah, I think they can. Ignite does go out onto Paulie Springer, taken dangerously low. Will flash away from the 3rd Darkened Blade. Evil Lobster is here. Will probably be able to clean up a little bit. Paulie Springer is being threatened by Momo Slay, but he doesn't have a lot of damage. Great riposte, checks for... He's still there, and he is. And they will be able to pick up that kill. 2 kills going over to the top side. It's a great spell shield also on the bot side from NTSP. Prevent anything from happening, and with Jace roaming up,
he's losing a lot mid.
Right.
He's not going to get anything there.
this is a very big wave. They can try to look for something here. The Empowered Shock Blast isn't going to land anything. That's pretty good. Stunlock onto NTSP.
Great exhaust.
Right, and I think he's going to have to flash away, and he'll also used by Valencia.
So
Don't
every
really
sunburst.
right. You don't really want to be fighting early on this Sivir Yumi bot lane. It's all about scaling.
Yeah, you just want to just catch these waves, and yeah, this again. I was saying while we were taking that break, this is the equivalent of being like, okay, I'm waving this white flag on having any kind of prio. So yeah, no, you never really want to look for a fight until you're very built up on these items. But listen, 2 kills on this Fiora, it's looking pretty good
Mhm.
because that's exactly where you want your gold, and I mean that or Vigar are the 2 targets you want to make sure have a lot of these, the gold concentration. So, um, good early start from Miami, and obviously, as we've seen from the past 2 games, that can be very impactful.
Yep, Rel taking the hint that someone's in the bush there. Does not have the ultimate ability available yet, though, so won't be able to continue that fight in NTSP. Villain Slayer is just going to catch this wave comfortably. Meanwhile, Putty Springer taking it back up onto the top side of the map, and Eva Lobster, I want to talk about his pathing of this game. It's been excellent. It's really been matching, knowing consciously almost where Slay is the entire game, and has been really effective at taking advantage of that. He's going to be on this dragon right now. I don't know if he's actually going to take it. It looks like he will. There are pings coming out from both teams that there is a ward from Buffalo that is on that dragon, but I don't know if they can really contest this with their bot lane having just backed.
Yeah, and I like this because we saw a little bit of a more reserved play from Miami the last game in the sense of how they approached objectives. And while they did give the Krugs, I mean the Void Grubs, which I'm not a huge fan of, considering that what they did give them over right as Baldi Springer solo killed the Aatrox, so they could have an opportunity to try and contest those. As long as they're matching with these early dragons, I think part of the big reason that they struggled so much last game is they didn't have control of either.
Oh, and that Infernal Chains is literally a free stun for Baldy Springer. He could have left it, but he just purposely stood in it because he knew the trade would be better if he got the stun off. Wow, some trades happening in the mid lane. Quager's going to take,
Gonna shrug it off.
yeah, just going to shrug it off. All he wants to do is get these minions low, press Q, rinse and repeat. Fire those bees away.
Speaking of bees, we're gonna see one fly. See if it spot out. It's Rel playing with the bushes.
I love that you mentioned that about the Void Grubs just a second ago because they've done it every game.
Yeah.
Miami knows that Buffalo prioritizes these Void Grubs, so I'm interested to see how they respond when the next set of Grubs spawn.
Yeah, and I'm curious because each time they prioritize this Void Grub, it hasn't really been a top laner or really a team comp in general that super benefits from having more turret damage. As much as it's like always good. It's always good to have more turret damage.
Actually, really good damage from Quager. Primordial Burst does quite a bit. Evil Lobster's down there near mid lane as well. Mid lane is going to probably have to back, although he is sticking around because he knows Evil Lobster is in the area. Shock Blast empowered is going to land. The level up's going to give him quite a bit. Hallucinate, I don't think Evil Lobster's hitting the right one, but that's okay.
He's fine. He's Trundle.
Right, and look at the zoning from Paul D. Springer. This is so annoying to deal with as Aatrox.
Oh my
Oh, it's a
God.
great comeback through from Fiora.
And,
yeah, he's just zoned away from the wave.
Quaker not dying there. He's fine with that. Every wave and every minute that goes by in this game is going to be getting stronger. And as we saw, I mean, he already has some pretty significant damage from that Primordial Burst, and it's just going to keep getting worse. Trundle being able to match a lot of this play from the Shaco, always good. Especially, the early game jungle mind games that we saw. The really coordinated invades and vision.
Rel has been called up for these Void Grubs, it seems. So, we'll have to
Definitely
see how
looking to
that
do it,
plays
yeah.
out. Loves those grubs.
Yeah, and Yumi not super able to match a roam just because of the way that champion exists.
It's like they're looking top lane, actually. Rel does have the Ferromancy Crash Down available. They could lock up Paul Springer, who's already below half health. Grand Challenge is available as well.
Has
To see what happens, but he might just get stunned up completely, and that's pretty much what I expected to happen. Shutdown Gold does go over to the Shaco.
Yeah.
And those will be the rest of the grubs going over to Buffalo.
Yeah, not a drag yet to respond for Miami. It is going to be a Chemtech drag. So that's that soul out of the pool. Always love to see that one not being. So yeah, no real contest from these Krugs, or these Grubs, excuse me. But maybe Miami was thinking about it, but unfortunately that dive gonna make it possible too.
Yeah, that dive was so sad to see because you kind of knew that Rel was missing,
Missing, yeah.
right? And you could
Can't really play
expect,
safe though.
right? It was a difficult situation to be in if you're Paul Springer because the play safe there is sort of sack an entire wave to
To back and
to
yeah,
to
no
just back,
TP,
you know.
yeah.
But I mean, is that better than a kill and the wave sack? Probably. But
Yeah, well, unlucky, but he's a Fiora with 2 kills. He'll be able to respond. Still has a CS lead, and maybe looking to get some more pressure there. But just keeping firm control of the lane. Quager stacking, gonna dodge the shock blast, and Miami's still in a pretty good spot.
yep, gold is even, so it's an even game state.
Yeah,
I mean, this is just again, we always say that, like, I would say pre 15 minutes have really decided these games, but right now it hasn't yet. We're
I don't
seeing
know.
a change in this third game, which again, that's why third games are always fantastic
You know what
to
I'm
have.
seeing though?
What are
I'm
we
seeing
seeing?
a Fiora with 2 kills, 100 CS, and I'm seeing a Vigar with no kills but 120 CS.
Right.
Nearly 10 CS per minute.
Can we get a stack check? I know it's really early.
There it is. 100, just shy of 120.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, no,
You'd love to see it.
great stacking. 10 stacks per minute nearly. So, I'm this guy. He's a pretty experienced veteran when it comes to
Pro
this champion.
Vagar.
Yeah, pro Vigar. And Chico, despite having that Dark Harvest and the Ignite, and or no, the Dark Harvest. I guess yeah, no, it does kind of make sense. He needs some AP
Yeah,
damage.
he's
Yeah.
going AP. Buffalo has centered themselves around the Dragon Pit. We'll
Springer
see.
dashing into the sweet
Yeah,
spot.
they're trying to just scope this one out. Rella's been spotted out. I don't know if Miami has a really easy way to get in here, especially with their bot lane. You know, they're playing the safe sort of play it slow bot lane, so I don't know if they're going to be able to contest much anything. Miami just sort of,
Wants to, but
yeah, Miami just has to back away here, though. They need to find pressure in other lanes here. And I think it's a good idea. I see the Lobster moving up towards topside. They're looking to get this Rift Herald, and I like that.
and that is going to be an Ocean Soul. Really good for both teams. I mean,
Yes.
having that extra sustain for the Fiora and the Trundle, it's going to help a lot. Side lane and also just in fights in general, going to help. Mana restoration always good. Yeah, I mean that's just generally one of the souls that's going to be almost always pretty good. So like to see that. I also like the bushes. So
Yeah, man, they're looking topside. Evil Lobster's here, already used the subjugate. Should be pretty easy, although he's trying to make an outplay. Evil Lobster flash away, and it's a safe kill going over to Paul D. Springer. Powered Shock Blast and Rel are up here. Not going to be able to get anything out of it. We'll just cover the wave. So it's a great kill secure on the top side of the map for Miami.
and Vigar roaming around, maybe looking for something, turning up some vision. But it is another objective.
Can Paul D. Springer look here? Does not have Grand Challenge.
Hold on.
Oh, but Evil Lobster might be able to. Meanwhile, bot side, final chapter comes out. It's a great pillar. They are looking here, but a TP comes out. Paul D. Springer's going to have to flash as well. They're slowed. I think this is 4 people into the top side of the map. Great crash down into the ult from the Rel means a double kill goes to Buffalo, and this turret will follow as well.
Yeah, a huge play on the top side. And in addition to that, also being able to secure this Rift Herald, it's a huge gold injection into the side of Buffalo. And unfortunately, they were not able to secure that Varus while he was sitting on his lonesome. So, just not the bot lane to do it, though. So not too much they can really do about that. Shago is going to be picking up some a cheeky invade here, getting the
So
Raptors.
1K gold lead now,
Yeah.
going over to Buffalo at 16 minutes. Again, don't want to see that extending if you're
Yeah.
Miami.
Unfortunately-
You need to slow the game down.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of response from Quagert in any kind of roam topside. Not really having the same pressure that Buffalo is able to provide. But he's scaling. He's doing his job, and he's catching all the waves that he needs to. So hopefully they can transition this stacking into something late game. And yeah, it's not doomed in any sense.
Actually, a really nice case. Primordial Burst. Yep, and the turret shot completes the kill. It's actually shutdown gold going over to Quager.
And it's game announcement on kill. Rift Herald zooming in.
Yeah, Rift Herald taken by this Shaco, who does have the Seep available. Does go pretty far. All these Springers caught tough, but the lunge actually hits onto the Shaco box, so he can get another lunge, and he's going to get away safely.
So, yeah. Good. Rel looking for something maybe here.
Right, but oh, there's the wave clear starting to come in.
Ouch.
To this bot side. And meanwhile, mid lane turret is taken, so now Miami responding with some plays of their own. That 1k gold lead no longer exists. In fact, now they have like a little bit of a gold lead with 300 gold.
Quaker starting to trade back.
Looking mid lane, pretty good box. Won't actually trigger though. Oh, but here comes this Jace. Cage is... I don't actually know what happened to the Cage. The Cage went like invisible. Looks like Quaker's just going to fall. Unfortunately, they are going to give the kill over to this Jace.
Not ideal, but also you did get a lot there, pushing and getting that tier 2, and all these Spring are going to take full advantage of a lot of those resources being sent mid, and it's going to take the
Evil Lobster has to be careful here. Does not have the W movement speed available. The ult is going to pull him back. Subjugate does come out, but he's been ignited, so that healing is going to be cut. Will be enough, though, to pull him out of that fight. Will just be end up a trade of ultimates. Turret goes over to Buffalo's side, while Paldy Springer, as you mentioned, does pick up that top from tier 1.
Yeah, and
oh, but they're looking bot lane, though. Final chapter, unlike last time, they're able to pick it up. That Kraken Slayer is now built some extra crit as well from the Cloak of Agility. And then TSP is looking pretty strong, actually, now.
Could be bot tower. We know how great the damage is from that Sivir, but obviously a big win just because we don't, like we were seeing earlier, this Vars was kind of just able to free farm under his tower. Only, really tanking maybe like a 15 to 20 CS deficit. So not really being punished for basically not having a support half as good.
These are some incredible CS numbers.
Yeah,
especially Quager. 182.
Yeah, I like to see Igar stack numbers. Oh my.
A huge shock blast, but Yumi does Yumi things, I suppose.
Cheese target. Yes.
We're going to be looking here in this spot side of the map. They're trying to set up this Drake, which is up in 3 seconds for Buffalo. It is the first Ocean Drake.
Getting a bit of vision control with those Shaco boxes.
Paldy Springer and Aatrox do both have their TPs available.
Paldy Springer needs, I'd like to see him a little weak here. Looks like they aren't going to be super contested. Not a super big deal for Miami. Obviously, you're looking at your team comp and you're like, listen, we're going to just keep getting stronger. We have this Yumi, we have this Sivir, and we have this Veigar. The Veigar is on the very edge of just completing that Rabadon.
Yes.
And once he gets that, that's the time. That's when we're going to hit these 5v5s. And, right now, Miami's in a prime position to just be able to succeed.
Meanwhile, for Buffalo, they are going to take that tier 1 inside the bot lane. I think Miami really wants to take this tier 1 in bot side so they can start opening up the bot side of the map. They really need some pressure around Dragon because the past 2 Dragons they haven't even really been able to contest, and not because any of them have fallen, it's just because the vision and the placement is too much for them. Paldy Springer, though, with the Blade Work's going to start the slow up onto this Aatrox. Evil Lobster is going to place the pillar down, but here comes the bot lane, and now Paldy Springer is in a lot of trouble. Will flash away from the Chain of Corruption, but they're looking to turn onto Evil Lobster. A beautiful flash away from the Rel will save him as well.
Yeah, and it's actually not too bad. Does have to trade their flashes, but not losing anyone.
Paldy Springer overstaying? It looks like he isn't. Sorry to cut you off, but I was
all good. We were thinking
worried.
the same thing.
Oh, now Momoslay's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, or is he?
We got baited.
Oh my god, and he tips the hat to us. Oh,
that was embarrassing.
Oh my god, yeah.
I didn't see the hallucinate.
No, I did not either. Usually,
well, I guess
usually on the spectator client, sometimes, actually no, sometimes you're able to see a little ring around it, but I think that's only the Shaco itself that can see that.
Chat, don't clip that one.
Don't, please don't. No, anyone watching, please, like our media team, that never happened.
Well, we're gonna pretend like that never happened.
Yeah.
Gold lead is again really even. Like, this is such a different game from the past 2 games in the series that we've seen.
And -1.
right?
What's the -1 from our beloved Sivir?
As casters, it's not the best always to cast one of those boring games that goes to 40 minutes where nothing's happening.
So yeah, we got excited when a Shaco was
But
about to die.
I'm really excited if you're Miami to slow this game down the way they have. Every time that Buffalo has responded in a major way, they've clawed their way back. And they're keeping the up tempo because right now, Buffalo's going to be stronger. Like
Uh-oh.
almost 100%.
Wait.
Oh, but Paulie Springer, I don't think Moomuslide knew he was there, but he's going to find himself in a 1v3 right now. And there's no way out of that. We'll pull back by the Infernal Chains. Meanwhile, the bot lane, a nice one-shot by Quagert. We're used to those.
Yeah,
Classic.
you know,
So it's a
naturally.
1-for-1, but I think they are also going to have to trade turrets here, and that's probably a tier 2 turret likely, although they won't be able to get much off there. And actually, Miami's looking mid lane here. The Rel is flanking, but I don't know if they can really go in here. This tier 2 turret's actually just going to be going over to them, and they will trade that for tier 2 top lane.
Yeah.
Or will they?
No, he's. I mean, he can't really stick around. He is just going to be contested, but I
Now
guess
he
he is.
will.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, there's not really anyone moving super
Oh,
fast.
we're getting a TP out from Quagert. See if that
Little
actually ends
late.
up in anything. Evil Lobster has totally flanked this, though. But he's
going
actually
the wrong
going
way.
the wrong way. Although here comes NTSP, though. On the Hunt has been used. Another TP has been used as well. Final chapter is out. Quagert is on the backside, firing away pretty safely. Rel has gone in, but it's not for much. It's just for death. It's one kill going over to Miami, and I think they're very happy with that outcome.
Yeah, I mean the shockwave, massive damage, but NTSP just able to hide behind the rest of his front line and effectively just peel off and free hit, and it's going to be enough damage for them to take down that rel. And yeah, I'd walk away pretty happy as long as you're taking positive trades as this Miami team comp. Again, the longer the game goes, just you're gonna be happy. Quager's starting to pick up solo kills, bursting down um, some of the members of Buffalo. So yeah, it's looking great. I mean, and this Sivir starting to come online in team fights as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sivir, I feel like once she hits the 3 items
Yeah.
is when she really starts to amp up. But with the Navori already on her, I mean, we're going to be starting to see a lot more ricochets.
I'd imagine she might be going for the what's that item? The anti-tank one.
Yes.
What is it called? It's on the tip of my tongue.
On the tip of my tongue.
Another embarrassing moment to be.
Well, let's see, though. We're not going to get baited this time by the Hallucinate. I know
Yeah,
how
we
much
know.
that's taking. Nice try, though. But Miami, this time with Drake up in 10 seconds, they are applying the pressure. They said, nope, not this time. You won't back us down from this. But it might actually result in a fight. This is all 5 members of both teams around this dragon. This would be putting Buffalo 2 soul point if they were to get it, but they're going to have to find their way in. With the rail, though, that may not be that difficult. This Jace is going to be starting to try to
Bursting
poke
this
Ease
down.
over the wall. And it will just go to Miami, but they are now going to have to try and find a corner here to flank. They really don't want to be fighting in this jungle. Paulie Springer's already taken so long. All the Hunt is going to try to bring them out. It's another Hallucinate clone going to be used, and this might just be tier 2 turret mid going over to Buffalo because of their decision to give away the dragon.
Yeah, a little bit uncoordinated. Obviously, you know, I could see why they'd want to insist that they have all 5 members there just to, in case there was kind of a 5v5, but didn't really seem like Buffalo was posturing to have a larger fight. Maybe they're aware that they don't really win at this stage in the game.
Right, and now Buffalo has first move around Baron area.
Yeah.
So they can set up their Shaco boxes, set up some wards, some vision. They're trying to like bait Miami in here. We'll see if Evil Lobster falls for it. He's got some of his team behind him. Paulie Springer does not have that TP available, while the Aatrox does. So the Aatrox, I assume, is going to back here and will end up matching Paulie Springer in his side lane.
Yeah, I think someone told Buffalo, like someone may have whispered it, that it is in fact an ocean soul map and that there's bushes everywhere because they seem to love the bushes. And listen, there's nothing wrong with playing that way. It's fine. It's shown to work in the past.
The Death Bush.
Yeah,
Classic.
especially if you're in a situation where okay, if we just fight front to back traditionally, we're just gonna get bursted and die. So getting that jump on maybe the Vigar or some of the more vulnerable members who really could hide behind a lot of this front line is going to be really impactful. And
Right.
the Lobster's just going to run into a cage there. It's a bit silly, but he's all right. The Union is not. fly over.
This is another time where I really want to see Miami play as a team effectively. And I know it's League of Legends. Of course they have to play as a team effectively.
The
But it's
whole
really
game, yeah.
important this game. They want to 5v5.
Yes.
And Buffalo does not want to 5v5.
They need to force them.
So they're going to have to force them. They have a around 1k gold lead, which is basically negligible at 26 minutes,
Yeah,
I
it
would
doesn't
say.
mean anything.
So it's an even game state still at 27 minutes into this game. Miami needs to keep up the pace and remember that they are happy to go to 5 items, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I'm seeing a pattern here. Buffalo stacking up in this bush right outside the red buff, just waiting for someone to, take the bait.
Yeah.
That tasty little worm that's on the hook there.
Yeah.
But
Again, that's
Miami,
why I want Miami to not do that.
yeah,
You know, they need to play as
push some
5.
lanes. Come
Right,
on,
exactly.
Yeah. Let make them worried.
That
Make
is
'em
what
sweat.
they're doing. They could get flanked here. I think Quaker might have spotted them though.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah,
they're
with-
definitely suspicious
Yup.
here.
And they kind of know, and they have to know that it's more than one person.
I
as
want to
well.
see Paul D. Springer in the side lane here. I'm seeing him. I mean, he is there, but he's also like not doing much.
Right, but I will say that was around a minute and a half of 4 members of
Sitting
Buffalo
in a
getting
bush.
nothing.
Yeah.
So if Miami just continues to not give them anything, then they're gonna be happy.
Listen, I'm seeing.
Probably Springer's on this bot wave. He does have TP up. Looks like they are going to start Baron,
No
but
vision.
Miami may not actually know about
Yeah,
this.
they might just be able to sneak it.
Yeah.
They're definitely getting a little bit suspicious trying to move towards the pit. Their damage isn't amazing from the side of Buffalo. I think they have an idea that this is happening, but it might be too late. Oh, no.
Let's see, it looks like they're gonna have to back off now, which sort of tells Paulie Springer that he can have fun here. That was not a well-timed repulse, and he's actually gonna be punished for this. Was trying to have fun with the vital procs, and now Buffalo's in a prime position to
Get
play
back
the
on it.
map the way that they want to.
Yeah. Being a member down, as much as it still feels a little bit difficult to fight, as Buffalo, that's pretty much a green light to take on this Baron. And this Baron is pretty great for Shaco, to be honest. Just to place these boxes in all the entryways, really denying any kind of contest. But, oh, God. Yeah, a lot of damage there for Quaker.
They're not going to be able
yeah.
to get it, though. And it's a very, very silly mistake. A complete riposte from Paul D. Springer. Mistiming it on the Infernal Chains actually leads to a Buffalo Baron. And that's why neutral game states are so volatile.
Yeah, and
Because all it takes is one mistake.
And that, I mean, I hate to say it, but that kind of, I wouldn't say it equalizes it, but it definitely negates Miami scaling for at this point while the Baron's active, because they have a lot of pressure. But it could, honestly, it could be something that Miami actually could benefit from, because, when you have a Baron as a team.
Oh, I don't like this from Evil Lobster. He's going to get cornered very easily, and it's a Rel as well. He's going to be able to back away, though. W speed is helpful. This Dragon will put them on Soul Point for Buffalo, but it will also put Miami on Soul Point, so Miami
Everyone
gonna want to fight for this. But remember, Buffalo does have Baron. It's going to be a flash forced away by this Jace. The Shaco clone is in the midst of the fight. I think they'll get rid of it right now. The AP means that it's pretty good damage coming out. Evil Ops is already taken pretty low. Aatrox is looking to get some fighting on. Subjugate is used to heal Evil Lobster quite a bit. The cage goes wide. It's not going to land on anyone. They have to keep in mind where this Rel is placed.
Ooh.
The Rel can fly over the wall and deal so much. And as you just mentioned via gas, that shock blast is huge. Mumu Slay is looking from the corner. Chain of Corruption goes wide. Evil Lobster is now stuck in the pit, though. And with this Rel on him, On the Hunt is going to go out. Paulie Springer is taken very low. All of Miami is very low here. Great cage, though, lands onto this Aatrox. Big shutdown, big Crypt Bloom is going to bring Miami back up. Blue team is going to get Dragon, but are they going to get out alive otherwise? Are they going to be able to pick up one more kill? Paulie Springer is looking for this Rel, won't be able to get it. Very good team fight by Miami, 2-0, but Buffalo does slide away with the Dragon, putting them at Soul Point.
Yeah, no one. Everyone seemed like they kind of forgot.
Yeah.
That the Dragon was just sitting there like, hey guys, anyone gonna smite me? But as much as that looks good for Miami, and don't get me wrong, I still think it's great. They have Baron buff. It's not like they can push these towers super effectively. All that Buffalo has to do is just have to sit there. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It is a Fiora.
It is. said, these waves and these turrets get pushed so quickly. So Miami, good job understanding that, yeah, they got the dragon. So let's apply some pressure right now when we can, when
Another
we have
minute.
2 of them down. They got tier 2 in bot side from Paul D. Springer, and they were able to get the mid lane inhibitor
Oh, we're going for a
as
little journey
well.
here.
To the top side. Where are we going?
What's going on? Oh, just going to look at the top wave. All good. Sometimes.
Miami's going to take a full reset here.
Yeah.
So both teams able to sort of reset, and yeah, we're back to kind of even gold. Actually, Miami taking a 2K gold lead, but again, 31 minutes. It's an
Rygar.
even state of this game.
Let's look at his stacks if we can. Maybe click
I'm
on him.
curious to see the update. He's at 285, and he's at
That's
310, I believe that is?
315.
300. So it's around the 300 mark.
Down early
I mean,
300.
huge for Quagert here. The crash down means that this rel is very slow, but I don't think Miami needs to continue to play this quite safe. That is the hallucinate being used, the clone by Moonslay.
A lot of value either. And just breaking down that last fight, Evil Lobster was just able to heal so much.
Yes,
and
with
then
Subjugate.
the Yumi ult
Yes.
kind of like additionally helped.
Yes.
And then the pick with the cage
With into Crypt
and the
Bloom.
Crypt Bloom.
Yes.
It's all the healing that they needed to be able to kind of posture back into the fight and be
Exactly.
like, listen, we can re-engage without really having to worry about being bursted by those Gay Stock blasts, by a lot of this quick burst that Buffalo brings to the table.
Right,
So,
I really think that cage was crucial. That Crypt Bloom proc really does a lot. I know
It
Crypt
does
Bloom,
heal
it,
a
it
lot.
heals a lot more than you would really expect.
and also it's just like a big green like visual effect, so it's like makes you really excited. And it's like, yeah, we got this, guys. Come on.
I do also feel that way about
No,
Crypt Bloom.
it's kind of like a placebo. Even though I do think the healing is pretty impactful, I think it's like, wow, like
Right.
that's the best sound I can give it, because it's just like green and stuff, man.
Yes. So, Baron is up in a minute 40. We have the next Drake, which will be Soul for Buffalo
Yes.
in 2 minutes.
You really want to deny that? I mean,
Yes.
as much as I still think Miami definitely is going to outscale here, you don't want an Ocean Soul because it just gives them a lot of sustain, a lot more ability to kind of heal up in these slower team fights.
The Lobster's looking for Mumu Slay. I believe that's the clone,
We
though.
got it down now.
We do.
Uh,
Those
playing a lot
clones,
with
the
switches.
cooldown is so low on that ultimate.
Yeah. Towards the late game, it's just kind of
Right.
every single second. You just kind of have it running around with you.
Paul D. Springer pushing this bot wave, has TP available. Both top laners have TP, both mid laners have TP. Pretty much all sums available except NTSP with that flash and Eve Lobster with that flash.
And I imagine King DR here is going to be backing for his Zanyas or not. But he's walking around.
I'm excited to see the inevitable Quagert one-shot part 2.
Let's hope so.
I love seeing Quagert on Vagar because you see him one-shot and then you're like, yep, that just happened.
Oh, I wonder what that is.
I mean, the Shaco clones are really effective at getting some vision cleared and making it work. But meanwhile, bot lane, great riposte by Paul D. Springer. Will be able to get away from the Infernal Chains, but I think he's pretty much screwed here in this 3v1. Once again, Paul D. Springer getting caught out might cost Miami a lot. Baron up in 5 seconds, although it's good by Miami to keep control of this area. But Quagert might be in trouble here. Oh my gosh, look at the damage though. He's gonna Zhonya's flash over the wall, but it's gonna be followed up with another flash. Can Miami try to make anything work here? I don't think they can.
Want to get one back? I don't think they will.
No, but the question is, are the health bars too low for Buffalo to really continue? And I think they are.
And that's 40 seconds on Quagert and his respawn.
Yeah.
And that's Drake up
In
now.
10.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So really unfortunate timing to get picked there. Quagert just playing a little bit aggressive, not knowing that there is indeed a Shaco on the map. That dude can be anywhere. And
I think
will find
Miami is thinking that Buffalo is going to go straight towards Baron, but they instead of prioritizing this Ocean Soul, which I totally agree with,
yeah.
I think Miami just kind of has to give it.
Soul lasts forever.
Yes.
Baron is eternal. Or no, wait, what was it?
Baron.
I don't know. I confused myself.
Baron is Baron.
Baron is Baron.
Ocean Soul for Buffalo here.
We got the Billie Eilish.
Is
Ocean
definitely
Eyes.
not what you want to see if you're Miami.
Yeah.
They on paper have a 1K gold lead, doesn't mean anything this late into the game. But we are getting to the point where some of these champions are going to start falling off a little bit. Um,
I'm looking at. I mean, kind of Jace, but also I'm looking at Aatrox. I think
yes,
Fiora scales way better than Aatrox does.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, Trundle is gonna kind of fall off, but he's transitioning really well into kind of a tank build,
I agree. Yes.
which is gonna make him a bit more useful. Maybe look to start Baron here, but it wouldn't be very subtle. Um, Shaco does definitely have an idea that something is amiss. Hopefully, Paulie Springer doesn't act a little bit silly with those Infernal Chains again and
Yeah.
give us some PTSD. But I'm just seeing the Sivir scaling up. I'm seeing the Vigar scaling up. And while he did kind of get caught, it was mostly just kind of like playing a bit, playing with a bit of ego. So not
Yeah.
terrible.
I think Miami just really needs to hone their brain in and understand, all right, if Buffalo wants to win this game, what are they going to do
Yeah.
to do that? And then understand what they need to do to win the game and be like, all right,
Know
if they're
your
trying,
enemy.
yes,
Sun Tzu
know
said
your
that.
enemy. Exactly. If this Shaco is just going to be roaming around topside like he's been
Look at
doing
these
for the past
boxes,
at
man.
least, I feel like this Shaco has been topside for the past 10 minutes.
No, he's always there.
Just clearing wards with his clone,
Rent
being a
free.
nuisance. And I think he kind of knows that he's sort of hit his point, you know?
Yeah, where he's gonna be. I mean, he's like Timo. You know?
Yes.
He's basically Timo at this point, where he's just like, how can I just do a little bit of chip damage and be a nuisance before I'm absolutely destroyed in a team fight? You
Right.
know, and it's not obviously ideal, but it's that's kind of how you play Shaco late game, especially with the AP variant. So just trying to get the rest of Miami weak.
Looking bot lane, I don't think Paulie Springer knows that there.
Lobster.
Meanwhile, mid lane, it looks like Miami's looking to pressure something. They are going to be flanked by this Shaco. Is going to be hallucinate, but the fear back, will it actually matter? It looks like they're taking a decent amount of damage. A good cage is going to disengage them. They will be able to get out scot-free.
Sivir ult makes them go a little bit tricky, and Evil Lobster going to be moving back up, and guess who's there? Surprise, surprise! It is the Shaco.
Just owns that land.
I mean, he established his own country out
Right.
there.
I know Trundle says this is my land when he presses W, but
Yeah.
I think Baron is Shaco's land right now for this entire game.
Clown King. King!
Exactly.
NTSP gonna be kind of keyed on to the fact that they might be starting this. Their damage is pretty high. I feel like they can burst this down relatively quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with these. Yeah,
Shaco
I think they're
box.
just gonna take it. It should be quite easy to just take it. They're not gonna be able to get the steal, and Evil
So
Lobster
close.
will get out with this Baron positioning.
Paulie
Springer
a little
is-
risky. Come on.
He's struggling a bit, especially with the anti-heal coming out. Another early riposte.
I think he can get out this
Means
time.
he's going to have to flash over the wall. Grand Challenge movement speed helps a little bit as well, but it is Baron going over to Buffalo once again. Elder is up in 2.5 minutes, which is important to note because now that death timers are so long.
Yeah, and I'm worried because I feel like Miami is making these mistakes and giving them opportunities to be in the game. Because at this point, if everything was to go like kind of what it is on paper,
Linear. if
yeah,
you will,
linear scaling, let's assume, hypothetical. I feel like Miami's definitely favored. So, making these silly mistakes and kind of giving up a lot of this positioning and vision control. I know it's hard with Yumi. I mean, still boasting a really good vision score, but especially into a Shaco, it's like hard to move around the map. But obviously you want to use your scaling advantage to kind of force them to play around you, not the other way around.
Right.
It seems like their gameplay is very responsive. It's not active.
That's why I want to see them like really positioning in the dragon area right now.
Yeah.
Instead of just pushing these waves, trying to farm, which I understand why you're trying to do that, trying to finish your builds and everything because you know you're going to be stronger at max items. Shaco's always going to have control of this area. But if you walk in as 5 men, the Shaco will leave, and then you can clear all the bushes, you stay there. You have prio at Elder then,
Yes.
right?
You got to take a few Shaco boxes. It's like you got to break a few eggs.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
take a few Shaco boxes.
That's just how it is. To move forward in life, you just got to step on a couple.
Exactly.
So, they are going to spot out a couple of them using the sweeper wards. Really good buy here at this point in the game. And I'm looking at it now, and now I can confidently say that item is Lord Dominic's Regards. I couldn't
There
remember
you
it earlier.
go.
As soon as I saw it, I knew. But it took me a while.
All right, it's the big Elder fight. It actually could be the game-ending Elder fight because these death timers are really high now.
NTSP taking a lot of poke from that J Shock Blast, but he is a Sivir with a Yumi,
Yep.
and he will heal. Evil Ops are not really gonna let him though. Unlucky.
Miami's just kind of looking to push here. They might have the idea of like push out the wave to prevent any of the plays, but Paulie Springer might be in
Uh-oh.
trouble. This is really bad for Miami if he dies here,
He gets
and
caught.
he is going to fall. This becomes very difficult now for Miami. They are going to be able to get the inhib.
I think they got to get that. They got to get out here because if any more members of Miami fall, it's gonna
Yeah, and
be really
NTSB
hard.
is in huge trouble. So is Quager. This looks like a game for Buffalo, picking up one of the carries. NTSB is able to live, but has no sums. Elder Drake is up now. He may not even need Elder. That's an unfortunate Shaco box placement. Means that Evil Lobster is going to fall as well. I don't even know if Buffalo needs this Elder. They might just get it just in case they can't end.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, really sloppy, unfortunately, from Miami just to go for that. And I mean, consistently, Buffalo have been able, as much as we love to praise Evil Lobster, the picks in this game and a lot of the moves that Buffalo has been able to make in order to stay relevant in this game have come off the back of him just getting picked in the side lane. And then Miami kind of panics. They're like, oh, should we shove for an in-hit? And then they all kind of crumble like dominoes. So definitely something you want to look back on and maybe see how you can improve that. Still seeing, a bit of a difficulty really ending these games. You could have a lot.
I actually really like this play from Shaco, trying to really wait to get the Elder
To
when it's
maximize value.
best.
Yes.
Trying to just wait.
I've never seen this before. to
Right,
be
he's
honest.
actually just stalling it straight up for when they're ready to sort of fight. And now with the ward coming out, I think he's, yeah,
Plays like
just take
7 million boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen that strat employed before, but you make it make a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah, so that was for in a minute 40 Baron's up.
yes.
So they're going to have it now for Baron if they need it. They may not even need it, though, because if all they need is one fight. I mean, Elder is so powerful, especially with 3 Ocean Drakes.
And Shaco. The
Incredible.
boxes are going to hit kind of different now.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
As much, I mean, and Shock Blast, obviously. And there's not really that kind of response where it's like the Sona, you have the immediate, like, okay, we can pick back up.
Yes.
Yumi's great, but it's Yumi. The healing it applies more just on you autoing things, and if you're just bursted, not much you can do.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with Miami's team comp is they want to 5v5, but they don't really have that go button,
Yeah.
if you will.
Not a lot of super great engage. You have the Trundle, but you can only do so much. I agree. I feel like that's really what they're lacking in a sense. Definitely kind of hard engage. You have that Rel on the enemy side. You have people. You have, arguably enough, you have the Varus the Chains of Corruption. So, and then you just don't really. I mean, besides like maybe the cage and the Trundle. I mean, there's not much. You kind of have to just wait for them to come to you.
Right.
And that's kind of been the pattern of this game, is like waiting for them to do something and respond.
Right, and the issue with that is when you wait for their team comp to do something, it's going to be in their favor. They're not going to do anything that they don't want to do because they want to just get picks and then excel off them.
And Shaco as a champion, that's all kind of about positioning, and especially with this AP variant, placing the boxes in a way that's going to be advantageous to you. And we've seen that just all throughout this game. A lot of the reasons Miami has been, caught or found in a really difficult position. Hold on though, might just no, that wasn't a clone.
Been knocked out. I got baited because of how much damage that Quaker
I know,
did.
but it's Vigar.
Yes, it is classic Vega. Build quite just yet, but almost there. So a nice kill picked up by Miami, but they're still struggling. Only one inhib down. They alleviate the second inhib from being taken at least.
Where'd they go?
Baron is available.
I mean, there's no jungler for quite a significant amount of time.
There is double TP available, though, for Buffalo. So they could look the back door, but I think Miami takes this quite quickly.
Yeah, the Sivir.
With Sivir.
This is gone.
So Miami is actually going to be able to pick up Baron
There's
by
a
taking
lifeline
that Shaco.
here.
So yeah, there is a lifeline here. They brought that 6K gold lead down to 4K-ish.
There.
So,
I mean, but let's think about the gold that the Vigar is holding in terms of his passive, how much that's worth to him. And also, it's a Yumi. It's a Sivir.
Right,
and
exactly.
I mean, you're not. I mean, as much as I like Sivir late game, and I think she's really effective, her wave clear is I think a big reason why they're still in this game.
Yes.
Just because even with that Elder, they just were never really able to make a huge hole in the base.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's been really impactful. I just I think all eyes. I think the Vigard pick gets picked. If the Fiora gets picked, it's gonna make it really hard for Miami to really accomplish anything. So you know, keeping your carries alive, playing front to back, that's what's gonna need to happen in order for Miami to
Right.
really close this one out. Or I mean, Buffalo to. I mean, it's tough. It's tough for both teams. Very tense situation here.
It's a very tense game indeed. And what a game 3 to make it tense,
I love it.
47-minute game 3. I love it. I think it's incredible. And it's been very back and forth. Right when we thought that Miami was totally out of it, they are starting to weave their way back in.
And we thought that Buffalo was totally out of it.
Right,
And,
Shaco is behind them right now.
I mean, they can kind of
Trying
just
to
move
be
forward,
a
though.
nuisance here. Aatrox is around the edge as well. That's obviously going to be the clone here.
They
So
know.
no one is going to hit that. TSP is taken so low, actually.
Yeah, I mean, just even just being ADC at this point in the game is just like one bad skill shot.
And
Paulie Springer, again, we've seen it happen before. Come on. Maybe he's learned his lesson now.
Let's see what Miami can do with this Baron. It looks like they are going to be able to pick up this inhib in the mid
I
lane.
don't think they can end though.
No, what more can they do? This is such a tense situation. The gold lead has been cut to just under 2K.
Hand off here.
Oh, but
Quaker.
Quaker has been caught completely out, separated from his team. This could be awful for them. No trade back in kills. Quaker's down for 63 seconds, and there's pings towards the base. And once again, Miami is not able to seal the deal because they're just not able to get a team fight.
Yeah, backs against the wall. And this Shaco, incredible value for the side of Buffalo. Just being able to catch a lot of the members of Miami off guard. And I've seen this one before, but also I don't know. I feel like that's, if you want to get a pick off of anyone on Miami, that's a pretty good candidate. Because
Right.
that's a lot of the damage there.
Look
gone.
at that Sipper wave clear.
Yeah, I know.
That
wave
is the
kinda
only reason why.
No,
Pretty
for
much.
sure.
And Baron helps a lot as well, but that's really a life-saving
So
pick right
let's
now.
not stand here.
Right, I mean, this whole game right now, playing with fire, everybody is pretty much almost level 18, almost full builds all around.
Can we get to a...
Yeah, Elder is up. Quaker does have TP available, is up in 1 second now, is up. Might be able to just take this down really quickly. Miami might just look for the end, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I
they're
don't
clearing
know if
waves
they're going to be able to get...
incredibly quickly. But I don't know. I think the Elder is taking it very quickly. They don't have
Yeah.
two members of Buffalo are going to be backing, but Miami, yeah, I see why they didn't go for the contest, but also like round 2.
Yes.
We did see them successfully fend off the Elder push before, but
Oh, this is scary. I want...
oh, Paulie Springer. He's got that GA.
Those
but-
boxes, they're
yeah.
scary.
They hurt.
Yes, the GA actually is an important thing to note. They've been spotted now with the ward, which means they're going to hop over that with the blast cone.
They're pinging towards the mid lane.
Lean towards the mid lane. I mean, this is so intense. You never know when a backdoor is going to happen. There's double TPs on both teams. Quagert has his down, but Paulie Springer is available. Double TP on Buffalo's side.
Any kind of slip up could just mean game.
Yeah.
So, and I'm curious. I mean, this game has gone for an incredible length.
50
of time.
minutes.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure what the current record is for ESC.
That's a good question.
But
There's the stack check,
Yeah.
around 400, just
uh,
over.
Yeah. Stacking did slow down a little bit. Dying obviously means a lot of stacks are going to be lost just because of the huge respawn timers. Aatrox looking for a cheeky angle here.
Yeah, Miami needs to play this smart against Elder because, I mean, all they want to do is clear waves. They can't afford to do anything else. That's why I really like this idea from Buffalo to split, because Shiver can only be in one place at a time.
True, but mid is the place that you're wanting to look, but any kind of inhib will give you a lot of pressure in this late game. Going to be opting to take the top one. Can't really stop that. And a lot of these things that Buffalo prioritized early starting to make an appearance. These
All right, this is
poison.
looking dire for Miami up against an Elder Drake with their base in shambles. What are they going to be able to do? It might take a miracle to get through this. 3 inhibs down. They're
Looking a
just
little weak
sitting
too.
back.
Hellfire's starting to trickle down.
Buffalo is just waiting. They kind of know that 5v5 isn't their strong suit, but even still against with an Elder.
This is their shot. They got to close it
Right.
out here because
Valencia just fat-fingered her final chapter, so that won't be available for this
Oh.
fight, which is actually kind of huge.
yeah, no, that's massive. That's a big reason why we've seen Miami being able to be successful. Just that constant healing. So
Once again, great wave clear.
Backing
3 waves
up.
of super minions.
Hold on.
Oh, but that's a big box. They won't look for anything more, and feels like, again, Miami's able to hold on through Elder. Baron
Yeah.
is up, though, and Elder is still active, I believe, for probably another minute
And
or
2
30
inhibs
seconds.
down. I mean, I mean, as much as it's great to have a Sivir on your team and how much wave clear you can have, I mean, it's so hard to play. I imagine that we're looking close to the end here, whether that be in terms of Miami or in terms of Buffalo.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean,
have to wait and see.
especially like these past few objectives you've seen. Every objective is now going over to Buffalo because
Yeah.
Miami just doesn't have
Any
any
vision,
control.
any control on the map.
It's going to take a miracle, but it is only going to take one miracle for Miami. The next fight wins the game, pretty much.
Yeah, so
Next death, even one kill could really finish everything.
no Elder this time. They do have the Baron buff. Kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say equal footing. They are pushing into Miami. I think that, you know, even if they can get any kind of towers down, it could spell the end because even if you don't need a super clean team fight, you can just kind of.
Oh, Paul D. Springer is going to go into 4 men, but he's going to get out for now. Let's see what Miami can do. They are able to pick up one. Evil Lobster's taken dangerously low. Final chapter is going to heal him up. Will this be enough? NTSP is going to get caught by the Hallucinate clone, will be forced to flash away. It's a pretty good cage. I don't know if they can handle this though. Look at all the minions. It's going to take another miracle there. It's a 4v5 for Miami though. Can they do it? Cage goes wide. What's going to happen here? There's so many minions and Sivir can only clear one wave at a time.
Yeah,
Another
NTSP.
cage goes wide. Paul D. Springer is looking for this Aatrox. Not going to be able to get it though.
And they're just, you know, constantly waves pouring into the base. Sivir
Yes,
can only
these
do
are
so
Baron
much.
and minion waves as well.
And all Buffalo really has to do is just wait and have those towers be chunked down and they can just focus the Nexus. They don't really need a clean team fight.
Right, and especially with these shock blasts as well. It's huge. And even with Ocean Drake, any poke from Miami for some reason would just be totally negated.
Yeah.
It's another dire situation for Miami. Let's see what Paul D. Springer can do. He's on to this Aatrox, but he's going to be stunned up. The GA is going to be proc. Evil Lobster, meanwhile, is taken solo. Final chapter is available. It's going to start healing, but it's not going to heal that much. Evil Lobster is taken low. He's going to fall again. The Aatrox healing is coming through. Quaker is going to Zhonya's, but I don't think he's going to be able to live this one. A resurrection through the GA is going to come through. NTSP is doing his best, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to stay alive with the Yuumi shield, but it will inevitably fall into the hands of Buffalo, who's going to take this game 3 and take this series in a 54-minute banger.
Wow. I mean, as much as